Wow.
Okay. Oh, and we're back. So, before we get on with the recap and the what happened, not the why happened, I still can't remember why most of it happened. It's just kind of spiraled. And do we have any announcements? We really should always check this before we go live, and every week we don't. But I believe Black Death is on break at the moment, but we'll be returning
May Cinco de Mayo. And I need to tell the story of Cinco de Mayo, but I'll save that.
Do it.
All right. But on later tonight, I believe there is Party Foul.
There is Party Foul, yeah.
On Mandara's channel.
Yep.
And Bova, how's Tuesdays looking?
Eden is currently on break, but we're doing one shots in our time slot. So it's Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern or 7:30. We've been going a little late sometimes, depending on our kids. But it's around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday nights, and that is over on Concentration Check. So twitch.tv/Concentration Check. And yeah, so I think that's everything for now.
I think that is all our very exciting announcements. So we'll be back in a minute with what is going to be potentially a very interesting episode. Before there was darkness, before there was order, there was chaos. An endless war between the gods and their enemies. A war the gods could not win. Till a champion arose, wielding a weapon of otherworldly power. The war was won, the enemy banished, but the weapon was shattered, its fragments scattered across the new formed world. Now, thousands of years later, many seek the fragments of that long-lost weapon. Among them, our 5 brave heroes. The druid, troubled by dreams and his own temper. The blacksmith turned warrior in search of revenge. The raider, determined to protect her friends and her growing family. The traveller from a distant land, guardian of those down on their luck. And the girl willing to sell her soul for a taste of adventure. Their hunt will take them to distant and dangerous lands, far beyond the borders of Isfjell. Now?
And then, yeah, that's how that happened. It was pretty bad.
Okay,
Sweet.
so
I can't believe all the blood and
last time with all the blood and carnage. So last time on Isfjell, we were in the midst of the tunnels underneath the Temple of Light and Shadow, and Eira had met an untimely demise. And our heroes are standing face to face with this mysterious figure they've come across under a couple of guises before, the Mind Flayer, who wants something from them and wanted them to break this circle containing the Elder Brain, which they did not do, thankfully. They managed to escape from the Temple of Light and Shadow and met up, well, along the way they met up with Uno, a mysterious traveller who was here hunting necromancers. Sadly did not find necromancers, but did find a bunch of weirdos with a flying boat. But
The worst things you could find.
Yes, sure. The group met up with Uno and reunited with Eldis, who had been looking after the boat. They ran away from some murderous plants, which is very important. You always run away from murderous plants. You do not want them getting you. Bad things happen. And returned to the boat, planning to head to Tieth Nara, in the home of the Circle of the Dream Druids, seeking to return Eira to life, and also potentially pay a visit to the Fae. Aldous has been summoned by her patron for a face-to-face meeting, And Chrysara is after her daughter, Olwen.
It's my daughter.
Her adopted daughter, who is definitely not a several 100-year-old fae. But yes. So, last week they'd arrived in Tieth Nara, been guided in to land, and were stepping off their boat to find a large number of druids staring at them in quite a large amount of surprise, because it's not every day that a boat comes out of the sky, and you're in this small pool of water in this clearing. You can see the trees rising up around you. There's butterflies fluttering, flowers blooming in the grass. You can hear the soft sounds of bird song drifting on the wind, and everyone's just staring at you from the walkways, from the trees, from where we're in the midst of gathering flowers, carrying out druidic rites. They've just all stopped and are staring at the 5 of you and Amalia, who's there with you.
Torvald's gonna like look over at Adair and just be like,
He's gonna stand up and stretch. Look at all the people gathering flowers and shake his head and go. And then walk over and pick up Ira's body.
And the small elven child who had guided you in approaches the boat. You can, okay. Greetings. Right. If you would follow me, the bachelor will see you now. Right? Yeah. Also, sorry to have to ask this, but could you please leave your large axes, hammers, and other giant swords on your boat? Please.
I guess we could do that. Is there any reason?
This is a place of peace and harmony, and you will not need them here.
Uno
All
sitting
right, well, I
toward...
use my axe to heal people, so just saying.
Uno towards the back of the boat, like where she's still sitting chained down, is going to be very like awkwardly trying to fit her great sword into a way that they can't tell that she has it on her.
Okay.
I'll go.
You know what?
I'll dispose of all the weapons. And Torvald's gonna go around to everyone and collect the weapons and kind of like walk over to a part on the boat where no one can see them, assuming everyone gives me their weapons. I don't know if it's gonna give me
Adair
the
does
No, if you're
not.
trying,
Or doesn't have weapons.
I only
As
have
long
my
as I-
dagger. They said large weapons. So
Yeah, they said large weapons. I have
Mhm.
a hand axe and a dagger.
I'm keep my walking stick, which is AKA my awesome staff. It's a walking stick, and I'll hand over my maul to Torvald.
Torvald grabs them all and just like, oh. How do you swing this thing around?
you dig a nice groove in the boat as you drag it to the front.
Oh. I should have had you bring it to where I wanted it. Torvald drags them all over there. And did you give Torvald your sword as well?
Uno, if you are
No.
trying to hide it,
I know.
Yes.
you can. I'm gonna say maybe either a sleight of hand or a deception here. If you, the bar is quite high. If you,
Oh, okay.
but you, it's not impossible. It's just unlikely.
Sure. That's a 3.
Yeah, it's not well hidden.
Perfect.
Uno, why don't you come over here, and I'll put it in a safe place for you.
Oh, I thought I'd just hide it from them.
Well, you're not doing a great job, to be honest. And
Can you see it?
aye, it's a big great sword.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe if you weren't chained to the bench.
I can just see you're like in a hoodie and you think it's good, but the hoodie's
Yeah.
sticking up.
And maybe you could help me carry the small while you're at it.
Okay. Do you think I can keep like my crossbow on me?
You'll have to ask them. It's not up to me.
Are crossbows allowed?
Not really.
I can't remember our little guest's name.
Eira.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's not going to get confusing at all.
Whoops.
Nope.
I have
Oh,
here
God.
the body of Ira.
Oh. My daughter's
Remind
name's
me.
Arya.
Once again,
It's very confusing.
to always read names aloud before naming NPCs.
At least it's not Eric or
It's,
Dave.
it's now Davette.
Or
Yes.
Davette.
Okay. She'll go and put her weapons in the pile.
So Torvald's gonna. Did you help him with the maul, or is he still dragging it?
Well, she'll go put her weapons down first, and then she'll go and she'll basically just pick up. Do you think? Can I make a strength check to just pick up the maul and Torvald at the same time?
Yes, you can.
Thank you so much. Let's see. That's
Athletics, probably, right?
Pure strength.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to do athletics or do you want me to do strength? I'll do it.
Strength.
Okay. That's a 17.
Also, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Torvald's doing this,
I'll
and
just
his
be like,
feet are going,
yeah.
put me down! I need help
Needed
with the maul.
Oh, you can just let go. I got it.
That'd be too easy now, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you can keep hanging on. I'll carry both.
Torvald will keep hanging on.
Good job helping there, Torvald.
His feet are going like he's carrying it. You see? I told you I could get it.
Clearly.
And then when they get out of sight, Torvald will take the weapons and shove them into the bag of holding.
Is it, when you mean out of sight, you mean just kind of ducking down behind the rim of the boat?
Yeah, like behind the, something in the boat or something.
Well, I was going to
So-
try discussing some things with Arthur while he was doing this as a distraction. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna move and stand in like behind them so they can't see through my wall of muscle to where Torvald is.
Aura.
I'm picking up Siri, and I'm just gonna talk to her like, everybody's got guts. What's happening?
Did you say Siri?
Siri.
She's going to answer in a
Sindri.
moment.
Hey Siri.
Sorry, I didn't hear that correctly.
I can't
Of course
help you with
didn't.
that.
Of course not.
Aura, is there a place I can respectfully place the body of our
Yes. If you follow me, yes, probably
Absolutely,
not
lead
best to
ahead.
take the body to meet the boss.
I'm sure Torvald will catch up.
Yes, if you just follow me this way, there's a really nice grove. I mean, it's not usually where we don't kind of just keep bodies lying around, but this one's, if you've got to leave a body anywhere. Sorry, am I talking too much?
A little bit, but that's okay. It
I'm
reminds us of
really-
our friend Ira.
Okay. We don't get that many guests here, outside or outsiders. So this is the first time I've had to do the whole greeting thing.
Makes
Got
you
any
any more
tips?
comfortable. I'm an associate of Arian.
Yeah, but it's just, Yeah, usually we only get, Herian, other druids, that sort of thing coming through. But,
They may be a little spent quite a bit of.
it's just I've heard all sorts of stories about people outside the forest, and the whole just setting fire to things, killing things for no reason, taking treasures, breaking buildings, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure it's all lies. They don't actually do that.
From behind, as I'm following, there's usually some sort of reason.
Dare will lean over and go, all true.
Okay.
I've only broken a few buildings.
Yeah, you can let her rest here. And when you're ready, I'll take you to meet Lady Betula.
Lay her down. Whatever is available, I guess.
It's kind of grass and flowers.
Right.
Really.
And I'll do druidcraft to a ring of flowers.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I would assume we're done stashing weapons by now.
Yeah. If you're trying to do it without any of the people who are staring at you, catching glimpse of what you're doing here, maybe a sleight of hand or a stealth. I'll leave the option up to you. So we'll see if you can.
Does he get advantage since we were all making distractions?
He gets a much lower DC.
Okay.
Okay.
That's better.
Is it though?
I hope so.
All right, let's see. Sleight of hand, nah. It doesn't matter. It stinks either way. All right, let's see what happens. My die just jumped over the thing.
Nice.
15.
No one reacts to you doing this. You see, you've got your bag of holding. All right. Are you ready?
Will also let them know. If you need your weapon, just reach in and grab it. I'll have it right here on my side.
Well, I don't really want to reach in and grab anything on you, but
it's attached to my belt. Grow up, Crisara.
How did you attach it to your belt?
With a rope. How do you think I did it?
I'm gonna set Sindri down and ask her out loud to keep an eye on the boat, if you could, please.
I suppose. The cat replies in your mind.
Thank you.
All right. This way. If you just follow me. This way. Come on. I mean. And the small child of indeterminate age, leads you off up this winding staircase around one of the larger trees, sort of long walkways between the trees, and swaying ever so slightly in a breeze, leads you upwards into the canopy. And as you're getting nearer, you can hear the sound of voices ahead of you. And it sounds like a very one-sided argument. You can hear one woman's voice sort of speaking common, sort of loudly shouting and exclaiming, and then there's a very calm and quiet voice replying back. And the angry voice sort of, look, I don't care. If Harriet's been gone for weeks, you will need to get off your smug elfin ass and go and help him. There is no point guarding a gateway if... And sort of onward and on this argument stretches here. Fenelon, calm. Speak softly. We'll have time to consider this. There's no need to rush. I'm sure Herion and those who went with him are fine. This is not a matter of your concern. Now, we have guests approaching. And as you're led up, you can see ahead of you this large wooden door, and the child pushes it open, and you see beyond this raised platform / room. Like, it's got walls that are sort of woven of branches, but there's gaps and holes in them. You can see down quite a long way to the forest floor below. And standing in this room are two women. A tall elven woman dressed in the same sort of floaty white gown you've seen a lot of people wearing around here. Sort of floaty white gown, flowers in her hair, sort of there's a sereneness to her expression. And standing opposite her is a rather cross-looking dwarven woman, arms folded. She's also wearing white, but hers is sort of slightly more rough spun, sort of trimmed with white fur, and this very large and glittering jewel around her neck is like probably the largest diamond you've ever seen. And as you enter, the taller woman goes, "Greetings. I was told we had guests. I am Nana, keeper of this grove of Tieth Nara and of the Circle of the Dreamers. Welcome. Please come in, take a seat, and tell me what troubles bring you here."
Stop. Circle of
Greetings. He has spoken of you. You're most welcome here. And your friends also. I'm Fenelon. Fenelon of Winterbell.
That's the dwarf speaking?
Yeah. I can't do a convincing dwarf out.
Dorvald, nice to meet you.
And you likewise. She looks around the hall. He goes, "Well, I'm taking this as a serious meeting I'm probably not invited to, so..."
Well, I'm not sure why you wouldn't be invited.
Well, I don't know you. I don't know your business. And honestly, looking at you, I'm not sure I want to know.
That's rather rude.
Yeah.
I like her.
And she walks out. Apologies for Fenelon. Our northern cousins have slightly more abrupt customs in their circle. But please, what brings you to Tieth Nara?
Well, we have one of our own who suffered a fate where her brain has been eaten by this creature, and we're not really sure how to heal her, and we're hoping that you might be able to help.
I see. Her brain was eaten? That is quite concerning. By heal, I'm assuming she is no longer with us.
And we know it's a long shot, but she really means a lot to us, and we needed to do everything we could. If there's any way to save her.
You wish to return the dead to life? That is not an easy task even for us. You know that.
I understand. It's beyond my capabilities as well.
It is something we are capable of. But there is a cost.
What kind of costs are we talking?
I don't know how knowledgeable any of you are in the ways of magic.
It depends. I'm relatively new to it, but I feel like I'm pretty proficient.
Well, if her brain was truly devoured, then the cost needed to perform the spell is great. The materials needed are not those that we keep around close at hand. Many of our rituals, especially those concerning life, require gemstones of great worth, which are hard to come by at any time.
What
And
type of gemstones are you talking about?
Diamonds. Very valuable diamonds.
Like the one around your friend's neck over there.
Yes. Though I would not advise against trying to remove it from her neck without first asking her.
Why would you assume we'd do something like that?
I did not, I just would advise. I am not unfamiliar with the customs of Isfjell.
Well, you've got a point there, I guess. I have these. I'm not sure if they're enough, but and I'll present the. I think I have 4.
She just looks at them and
4 diamonds.
Their worth is sadly lacking for this task. This friend, she meant a good deal to you?
More than you'll ever know.
There may be a way that we could do this, although you would need to talk to Finalen and find out what her price would be. We here at Tieth Nara would ask for something in return.
Well, what if I gave you a hand?
A hand?
Aye, a hand.
I take it by this you mean your assistance. For
And
a
Torvald's
hand.
gonna pull out the golden hand and show it to her.
She looks at.
I mean a hand.
Material goods have little worth to me, although there are druids that do deal in money, so the hands may not go to waste.
So you're saying it could be handy?
I am unsure of your exact meaning there. I assume you are attempting to make some form of humorous connection between the word hand and the general usage of the term handy, yes?
Well, when you say it like that, it takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it?
I have always found that wordplay is much more interesting when thoroughly explained.
I find quite the opposite.
Well, we will have to beg to differ then, shall we not?
I tend not to beg, but I'll agree with you anyway.
Now,
Sarah's going to look at the other. need to eat. And the
Because none of you ever talk. I have no choice.
I
We
don't know.
need to
Do you want me to talk?
If I don't say anything, no one does.
We need to
I don't
change
think I'm
tactics.
the negotiator in this group, to be honest.
I'm a wonderful negotiator.
we promise not to break anything, Sarah.
Now, the ritual needed may be performed in the light of the full moon. The next one's 10 days hence. We, until then, must take the time to consider the possible ramifications of this action, to dream and to see what the future has in store for a world with your friend and a world without. Returning people to life may have dangerous consequences. We need to ensure that this is the correct path. But you will have until then to acquire the materials, acquire the gemstone you need by one means or another. Although I would suggest refraining from excessive bloodshed within the forest, as that will not make us your friend.
Well, do you have any idea of what we might be able to do? Other than convincing your friend to give the diamond to us?
Well, if you cannot convince her for either price or some form of
Okay.
bargain,
Aldous is
you
gonna
could always
lean
go look
over
for
to
one
Adair.
yourself.
I'm gonna lean over to Adair. We can always ask the Queen of Mirrors
Not that door, the
and Crystal. Copper and Crystal. I'm still not 100% sure on her title.
We can save that. I'm not sure that we want to anger or help up front. But a good option.
Well, do you have any idea where we might find one? Or it's just look through the forest?
In the ground, most likely. Although you may be able to seek someone out. I don't really concern myself with such matters. We here at Tieth Nara have an important task to perform.
which is
To safeguard your world, to safeguard the realm of the Fae, and to ensure that the gateway and the border is correctly maintained. And
Speaking of which, the Queen of Mirrors has asked to speak with me, and I need to go through.
what was your name again, child?
Aldous?
Elders. And the Queen speaks to you.
Yes.
And she stands up, you walk over towards Elders, sort of give her sort of look her up and down. I see. I see. Well, I would not seek to impede the Queen's, how shall we say, representative? No, that's not quite the right word. Let's stick with representative for now. You may, of course, pass through. We do not prevent people from passing through. Not on our side, at least. This is the gateway. But I must caution you that venturing into the Fae is a dangerous task.
Oh, we've already learned that. And I'm gonna look at everyone And I'm gonna shrug at Uno. Most of us have already been there at least once.
Well, in which case, that should prevent some of the issues. The gateway we have here is much safer than some means of passing into the Fae. There are many ways of making a gate, and several of them can have rather severe unintended consequences. I'd stay away from mirrors.
That's the look she gives her.
Also, mists. And whatever you do not follow any horses.
What about killing your reflection?
Inadvisable, if one can avoid it.
What if your reflection's trying to kill you?
Well, I have spent several hundred years of my life trying to fully understand the impact it has when one's soul is fractured and entering the realm of Fae, and whether it does have any long-term implications. We are still understand. Yes?
What happens if you say, oh, I don't know, this is completely hypothetical, but smash your mirror self and then maybe give it to a Fae person who could be royalty?
Are you guys okay?
I'm not sure yet.
I don't think you want to know. Una.
Is there history that I need to be informed of?
It's all good. It's all good. I didn't have an evil persona in the mirror world.
No one's saying it's evil.
That might be worse.
It's not evil. It's just a portion of you, only a tiny fragment of your soul. Nothing major. Although giving any portion of your soul to a Fae is highly inadvisable. They are not kind masters.
What about daughters? Are they kind daughters? Let's say there was some sort of Fae creature that has frost all over the place, and it was brought into this world. Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think we're talking hypothetical here, are we?
Completely hypothetical, and I'll just glare at Torvald.
I had heard rumors of some goings-on in the Court of Winter.
So it's a bad thing then?
No.
They are neither good nor bad in entirety. They are Fae. And I have spent a long time studying how to correctly deal with them and ensure that their machinations have as little impact on our world as possible. And that there will always be, and she had glanced over at Aldous again, there will always be issues. We do generally do a good job of keeping the Fae in the Fae.
Is there an issue with me?
Well, would I be amiss, child, in supposing you have perhaps made some form of compact or agreement with some manner of Fae?
You're talking to Kursara, right?
No. Wait, have more than one of you done this?
Cressard takes her walking stick and slams it into the ground, and when this in anger, and when this happens, her entire staff freezes solid, and the area around her freezes. That is my daughter you're talking about.
When did you start being able to do the frost thingy?
probably about the time my daughter was stolen.
Fair enough.
You lost someone, so I think you know what it feels like.
We're not yet.
Okay, can we all just take a breath here? This is... I've heard about 5 highly concerning things in the last 5 minutes. I need to take a moment. I need to go and speak to someone quite urgently about what is going on here. Please, could I ask you all to please, try not to cause any more trouble. I will speak to you this evening. And just could you mind not slamming that staff on the ground? You do know what that is, right?
It's a walking stick that I froze.
Just be careful with it. Some of the ancient elven artifacts can be a little temperamental.
So can she.
Right, okay. All right. Adair, could I have a word with you, please?
Of course.
And she sweeps out of the room with a little less of poise than she had before.
She wasn't expecting us.
No one expects us.
Right. Adair, was it?
Yes. Betula?
Betula.
Betula.
Look. Harrion did say that he'd seen dreams. We've all been seeing dreams of something terrible coming. Something really bad on the horizon. There's been visions of ice and of war and these people that you have brought here. Do you think they mean us ill?
I can say that they are only here requesting the help for our friend. Go ahead, Aldous, sorry.
How far away did they walk?
They've left the room. You can try and follow after and listen in if you'd like.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Make me a stealth check, go on.
That's a natural 20 plus 1, so 21.
Nice.
Okay, with that, even Adair doesn't notice you.
Nope.
Right, so you follow after them and you can hear this conversation.
I will explain to her the dreams I had. I had a message.
Whatever is happening.
I'm sorry, go
yes,
ahead.
Yes, a message.
I had a message from
Yeah.
Harrion that was delivered to me by a squirrel. We went looking for more notes from him, but I haven't found any further information as of yet.
Harrion went to... Something bad happened further north in the forest. Harrion took most of our more capable members of your circle and our circle and went to investigate. They have not yet returned, but I'm sure everything is fine. Fenelon is panicking over nothing. It will be fine. He will return. It's not been that long. Yes. Look, I worry that these friends of yours may bring more trouble down on our heads. Look, if Fenelon gives you the stone and their friend is revived, will they leave?
I will guarantee on my life that they will leave if you can restore our friend.
Because we have many problems in this forest at the moment, and I'm worried that they may bring another down on our heads. Things are happening in the Fae. There's rumors of strange yellow-skinned creatures appearing in the north. There's things stirring beneath Eye. Whatever Derek and his followers were up to in Kethrigarian, and whatever they summoned there is still on the loose. The Empire is on the move in the south. And there's something going on out west. We are beset by problems from all directions at the moment. And every dream I've had, I see the same things over and over again. I've seen the world frozen, ships coated in ice, some sort of staff wand thing made of glass. I don't know what any of this means, but wind is rising and something bad is coming.
Petula, I agree. There's much happening. We are trying to find out as well. We just came from Eye. That is where our friend was hurt. The yellow-skinned people, while they are scary and they have some bad habits, if they should arrive here, mention Chrysara, Torvald, Eira, Aldous, and myself. We have made an agreement with them. We are temporarily friends. I do not recommend trying to fight them. They are challenging, and I don't want any one of our people to get hurt. And there's no reason to fight. There really isn't. Let them know that you are our friends. As for the Fae, isn't there always something going on with the Fae?
There is. And that is my job here is merely to ensure that it stays in the Fae. But if the Queen of Mirrors has a new pawn in this world, and Winter is up for something as well, then they are planning something.
I trust Aldous. I believe in everything she has said to me. I don't feel that she would lie outright. She has the best of intentions. We have had more interaction with, I believe you called them the Winter Court?
Yes.
And we have concerns there as well. What can we do to help with this? What can we do to convince Fenelon to let us use the stone so we can leave? And where did Harrion go so that we can help him?
Kethrigarian. It lies to the north. Look, I don't want to make you concerned. I am, at this moment, Fenelon and I are the only two fighting capable people left here, should it come to anything. The rest went with Harrion. Other than that, it's acolytes, children, and those with very little ability. I must stay here. I cannot leave the gateway. Fenelon, offer her something in return. Offer gold, a favor. She's a plain talking woman. She will be honest with her, and she will most likely help. She has no love of liars. But yes, the matters of the Fae, I will speak to the Queen. She may know
more of what is happening. She has always been an ally of mine. And I'm not a trusted ally, but an ally.
Okay.
Arian always spoke well of you. He said that you had a good heart and that you usually acted well on any visions you saw. Yes?
At
Oh.
that point, I will sneak back so that if the conversation ends, I'm not standing there when they come back.
When they open the door, like, yeah. He always spoke well of you, and we look. If you're in too deep, if you need to get out of this, we can hide you. We can make sure you're safe. We can make sure these people won't find you.
If you needed me to stay here to help you fight and defend, I would do so. But I literally trust these people with my life. And I have. They have saved my life more than once.
Well, in which case, Harrian trusted you. I trust Harrian. So I will trust your trust in them.
The only one I have
hope
any
that-
question of is Uno, whom we have not known very long, but seems relatively reliable. And again,
Right.
I would place my life in Uno's hands were it to come to that.
Right, well, thank you. Right, and as she parts for there, whilst Aldous was listening into this conversation, were the rest of you just sat nice and tight and not causing any problems?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless Torvald and I
That's
were
quite
arguing.
surprising.
We're being relatively
I
good.
did put my life on the line in your name, folks.
I mean, we don't know that.
No.
Turn around and you see that the forest is on fire.
And it's
And it's
pink.
It's pink.
Or frozen solid.
Frozen fire.
All the statues are missing a hand.
So, Machulas, we've close to her there. I'd go find Fenelon. She should be able to help you most here. Yeah, goes.
All right. I will go in search of Fenelon.
Alright, are you collecting any companions along the way? Or...
I would go back and let them know that I think that we have an opportunity and an option. I'm going to go speak with Fenelon, and I would ask everyone else to say, behave, help out if you can, and I'm going to ask Torvald to go with me.
All right. I'll gladly do that for you. After all, you might need a hand.
Well, I figure, and pardon me for this statement, maybe someone of dwarven descent will help sway things a bit.
That's a little bit racist, don't you think?
It's a lot racist, but I tried to say it in the nicest way I could.
All right. You're not giving me the warm fuzzies, you know that, right?
You might not have noticed, I'm not really a fan of the Dreamers. I don't like the Fae. And we're about to go ask someone to give a very expensive jewel that they obviously prize to save Eira.
You have a point there.
I'm a bit nervous, Torvald.
I am too, but this is how I deal with it.
All right. Can we find
We should
Fenella?
probably get going.
All right. So as the two of you head out to seek out Fenellen, Uno, Aldous, and Krasara have been left to their own devices in this druid grove. Basically, have you got any plans or anything you'd like to be up to in the meantime, or shall we go back to the dwarf druid combination?
I want to see if I can find any rituals I can keep.
Because this went so well last time.
It was nice knowing you guys. I'm sure I'm going to make it through this.
Ira,
I
we
promise
tried.
that I
Una,
won't
it's
try to
welcome to
steal
the
it.
team. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
I stick close to Aldous and
Also, welcome Raiders. Thanks
yeah,
for
Raiders.
Yeah,
Yay!
thank you, Gehenna Gaming.
Oh, oh,
Stay back.
nice.
They've come. They're raiding the grove.
We're Vikings, so we
fear is the
appreciate a
dream
good
stop.
raid.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
All right. So yeah, Aldous, you're going seeking druidic knowledge and rituals and having a wander around. Make me a general investigation check. Tell me the result, and we'll get back to how well this goes in the meantime. Krasara's going with her. Uno, are you also tagging along, or have you got
Yeah.
business?
No, she'll tag along.
All right.
I got a 10 total.
Okay, I'll let you know how that goes in a minute. Meanwhile, Torvald and Adair, you catch up to Fenellen, who is
Fenellen? You said Fenellen?
Fenellen.
Fenellen.
Finn
Alright,
Ellen.
alright.
It's Ellen with a
Finn-
fin. So-
Ellen. Gotcha.
Fenellen. It's
Excuse me, Fenellen.
yeah.
I
you
have
want?
something I'd like to talk to you about.
Right. Go on then.
Well, we came here because our friend needs some serious healing. She's
You mean the dead one?
i.e. the dead one. And it seems that what we need to have happen is we need the diamond that you have. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to help us out.
Let me get straight. You want me to give you a near priceless diamond that has been passed down to me from my mother, from her mother, from probably her mother, to save the life of someone that I don't know, I've never met, and
But
on the word of two people I just met today.
you'd be given something that's near priceless for something that's priceless. And we wouldn't ask for it for free, obviously. We have things we could give you, or maybe we could do something for you. We're pretty good in a fight.
I mean, this would be a big debt. Like,
I understand. It's really important
As
to
in-
us, though.
look, I wasn't lying when I said it came from my mother, but you know, we have quite a lot of gemstone mines in Winterfell. You know, look.
What's it worth to
I
you?
might-
How much gold?
I mean, if I were to sell this to just any old person, then I mean, in the price of gold, we're talking here, like, approximately in the ballpark of. Let me think and stall for a moment longer. As
What do you think, like 2 or 3 fingers?
Is that a hand? Did you turn someone's hand into gold?
You'd never do such a thing. It was a statue.
Well, I mean, how many
I could
coins
tell
would
you
you say
where
a
the
finger's
rest
worth?
of it is.
How many coins would you say make up a finger?
I'm not really sure.
Well, if we say like it's 10 coins to a finger, then give me about, 2,000 or so fingers and we should be clear.
Well, I've only got the 5 here, but a palm's got to be worth something, right?
Well, we'll start with the hand, and then you can owe me the other 1,900 and something fingers.
Well, we can work something out. But
Yeah, I've got a long list of bits and bobs that need doing.
Adair, what do you think? I don't want
Have
to
you
make a
got any
decision
plans for the
without you.
next year or so?
And Adair is going to just look Fenelon straight in the eyes, recite the entire dream that he has had. The fallen one is our hope for being able to fight this madness. We need her. She is essential.
Yes, I'm gonna say make me a persuasion check here for how much we can lower the cost here.
I
Great.
forgot the part about
Plan.
if we don't get her fixed, you'd probably be dead. That's probably an important thing to know.
Just to let you know, I have a great modifier for persuasion. It's -2.
Oh, is that worse than Torvald?
Oh, this is great news. Guess what I rolled?
What?
I rolled a 2.
So it's a 0?
You've got help from Torvald, so either Torvald can roll or you can roll again for Torvald's assistance. I mean, I think you're both
I'll
as bad as
roll.
each other here.
I'll roll.
By the way, another dice in the pit.
Bye, die. Oh, that's great.
We are we are negotiating team. I'm telling you, we are the power team of negotiation here.
Yeah.
And
Brought
Fenelon.
the warlock.
Too bad Elvis isn't there.
One of the
I mean, our
the
paladin's
charismatic
dead,
people.
but we could have brought the warlock.
Or the barbarian, even like anyone but you two.
Hey, I have a +2 to persuasion. It's not
Well,
terrible.
I was hoping maybe the dwarf link would have a little bit of advantage in there, but apparently dwarfs don't like each other that much.
It's a big generalization to say that we all have to like each other. I mean, do you like all humans?
I don't like any humans.
All right. So you're busy. All right, I get that. You're busy and you're poor. Look, how about we
I've
start
got a
off with-
really nice mall here.
Yeah, I'll take that. Got any swords in there? Axes? So I'll take a lot. Look, here. I'll take your golden hand. You can do one job for me, and then I'll come back to collect the rest spaced out so that we've don't impede too much with your whole saving the world thing, whatever you think you're doing.
All right, that's certainly fair.
I warn you though, I have a long list of things that I need doing. This and dwarves live a long time, and if you die before you finish this list, I want you to name someone else to take over and finish this list off.
All right,
This is serious.
I understand.
It's a bit difficult to obligate somebody else. Maybe if he dies, you could just bring him back.
I think it's
Yeah,
an
that would
excellent
just-
plan.
That could work. That would just increase the debt.
Well,
Well,
I think I'd be willing to pay that.
I think that would be your debt at that point because he's being brought back to fulfill your list to which he's obligated. So I think that you share at least partial cost in that.
I could say half price on future resurrections until the list is complete.
That I can go with.
All right. Well.
Torvald will hand it over.
All right. Well, we've got a few days before before this ritual anyway, so you can start on the list before then, right? All right.
All right, what do you have to do?
Well, got some rats in a barn. No, I'm
God.
joking.
That's the title of this episode, Honey-Do List.
Alright, well. Let's see here. What are your sort of particular talents you've got to add here? Like, I mean, I think he's a fighting type rather than...
He makes wonderful ale.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take some ale.
Careful what you wish for. What?
Look. Alright. First thing I need doing is we've got a bit of a problem potentially down in a place called what's it called? I keep forgetting the name of the village. Bonebrook.
Sounds like a lovely place.
It's a horrible place. It's in a swamp. It's really miserable. It rains all the time. And everyone there is a grumpy fisherman. But we've had some reports that there's something weird going on down there. Now, problem is, it's outside the borders of the forest in the Empire. And a few years back, well, a couple of 100 years back, we signed this treaty with the elves saying that we wouldn't interfere with their business, they wouldn't interfere with our business. But, see, this is a loophole. Well, as long as they don't catch wind that we're sending a druid. But a different circle of druids, so I don't think it really counts. Anyway, I don't think Harry ever signed that agreement. So I think you're in the clear.
I'm
I'm
extremely
not sure ever signed anything.
I'm extremely disagreeable, and so is Harrian. So
I'm not sure Harry signed anything. I'm not sure if Harry can write.
Torvald's just smiling and nodding.
Anyway, like, you go there, figure out what's going on, fix the problem. You are nothing to do with us, you are just passing through, passing band of adventurers, it happens. Right? Complete deniability. Never met me, you don't know anything about Tieth Nara. Druids did not send you to fix any problem. Right?
All right, we can handle that.
Good. And yeah, so that's Bonebrook. Then where are you heading after that?
Where are we headed after that?
well, hopefully
You know what? I'll find some way to get in touch with you. I'll send a squirrel or something.
Great.
When do we get our friend back?
Sorry, my internet is unstable. Please talk
Uh-oh.
amongst yourselves for one moment.
Ruh-roh.
So Torvald, I think you should make some really strong ale, and if we get lucky, she'll drink it and die, and then you will be out of your debt. So. She can't hear that; her internet's connection's down. So
There you go. That's a good plan.
Just so you guys know, I almost died right there.
Mm-hmm.
I inhaled the tea rather than spraying it all over everything.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't know if like bringing attention to you would make it like worse and more stressful. So I was just kind of like,
Nice.
is she okay?
As long as she comes back up for air, then we're
Yeah,
good.
I was,
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
All right, so I've got internet back and you're not dead. That's good.
okay, good.
Yes.
Internet is alive.
All right, well. Well, I think we'll soon discover just how much this friend of yours is worth.
Well, how long will it be before she is back?
Well, Bachelors likes to do things like this in the full moon. About 10 days. I mean,
All right. We'll do as much as we can in the meantime.
Yeah, 10 days for us is like 12 sessions of D&D, so it's going to be a long time. So.
oh, look. I've got a long list.
Is there anyone in particular we can meet with in this Bonebrook?
I mean, I don't really know anyone there. I'm just going off some rumors there's something weird going on. Look, if you don't want to do it, I do have a large number of rats that need killing.
We'll do the Bonebrook thing.
Yeah. Or failing that, I've got a long lost brother of mine that I keep meaning to get in touch with. But
Send a
I think
squirrel.
that's really
Send a squirrel.
yeah.
A badger's too big
The
for a
squirrel
message like that.
The last squirrel I sent to him never got through. Don't know what happened to it. But...
Maybe you do need to badger him then.
Well, look, that could be an extra. It's like sending you after missing family members.
All right, so to Bonebrook, I guess.
To Bonebrook. Where's Bonebrook?
It's right. I mean, are you going on foot, or how are you planning on getting there?
Well,
We have a boat.
Oh yeah. Look, if you kind of go due east and then north a bit,
So
she
northeast.
maybe just round in her pocket and pulls out.
we'll say
Or do we have to move like a
Which
chess piece
direction is
and
it?
go in an L?
which direction as the crow flies.
I mean, I've never.
Hypothetically.
I mean, last time I was a crow, like, it's about sort of there-ish. She pulls out a map.
All right.
And I don't think this is actually to scale, because it's definitely not 16 feet away. But
16 feet, yes. Be there in no time.
Look.
I can get there in 6 seconds, and I'm a dwarf.
Look, it's probably about, good 100, almost 100 miles or so away. So I don't know how. It's about a day's flight away, I think. I think we discussed if you went fast. I keep remembering the pace.
A day sounds good. Whatever.
Just remember,
We've got 10 days
I
to
didn't
burn.
send you. You never heard of me.
Of course, if anyone asks, we will say Fenelon did not send us.
No, that is. Just, I would recommend that neither of you do any talking. Like,
I don't know, that might
You're
seem a
bad at
little
it.
suspicious, but okay.
pretend to be mutes. In fact, just all pretend to be mutes. You're a band of traveling mutes. Sid.
We're Silent Bob and Silent Bob.
Right, so whilst this is going on, Aldous, you've already found any sign of any druidic libraries. The closest you found to sort of any kind of law-keeping thing is what appears to be a sort of a rather relaxed weaving circle that's been set up. It's a bunch of people gathered around, weaving this long, intricate blankets. There's a pattern in there that reminds you a little of the patterns you saw Adair examining on trees when he said he'd found a message from Harry and these strange carvings into trees. And they're busy there, sort of weaving, and as you enter, look up at the three of you.
Hi. What are you weaving?
Rituals?
Oh, is this how you keep track of rituals?
This is how we keep track of a lot of things.
I'm gonna pull out my book. I have a book for that. I'll put it back. I was actually wondering if I could maybe possibly learn a ritual or two.
Wish to study with us?
For a little bit.
Take a seat.
I'll take a seat.
We have what you have you studied much of druidic arts before?
No, I've never studied anything druidic, but I do have some magic, and rituals are some of the things. I know how to find familiars, and I know how to identify things.
Oh, are you a wizard?
No, I haven't gone to school for it.
Oh, a sorcerer.
No, I am not a sorcerer either.
Oh, forgive me. Sorry, it's rather rude of me to ask. It's just we don't often come across other schools of magic here, other forms of magic. We get the occasional ranger ranging far from home.
I have ranger family. Actually, no, I have a connection to the Queen of Mirrors, and so that's how I learned my magic.
Oh, you're in contact with the Fae. We the Circle of Dreams. We believe greatly in reaching out to the Fae. We've learned a lot of our magics from them. A lot of wonderful arts, healing, and dreams.
So the healing sounds nice.
Yes, but a ritual. Committing a ritual to memory takes months of study.
Well, I'm able to record my rituals so that I have them when I need them.
It's a very important and very sacred task. But if you join us with time, you may learn to appreciate the true peace and harmony of nature and the forest.
Oh.
I've got a lovely ritual here for making daisies bloom a little brighter.
That seems rather useless.
Oh.
If you want something useful, I know another ritual for curing warts.
I don't think that'd cure Torvald, but you know.
That probably would help the Earl, though.
There's no saving him. Not even. I don't even want to.
No.
Or okay, no, you want something useful. We have a ritual we could teach you if you spend some time with us. It allows you to reach out and to find with your heart the animal or plant you are looking for.
What constitutes an animal?
I have Sindri. I don't need to look for any other animals, really.
No, this allows you to think out there. Say you want to find a squirrel. It'll allow you to know where the nearest squirrel is.
Oh my god.
I wish I was there. I mean, this is just amazing stuff.
It's not just squirrel specific though. It's whatever animal or plant you're looking for, you'll know where the nearest one is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important ritual.
I can see how that could be important, especially if you're looking for ingredients for medicine or something.
What if I cut my hand off? She needs a spell to fix that.
Oh, well, we do have some spells that can help with hand chopping off. Mostly a little bit more of an emergency sort of action rather than a ritual as such. Like usually when someone's chopped their hand off, they don't want to wait the time it takes you to cast a ritual. screaming by then has usually got to them a little.
Kursara, are you missing a hand?
No, but it could happen.
Okay. All right. Is there a specific reason why you're concerned about that? About that specific occurrence?
That was just an example.
Okay, yes.
What about? Let's see. I already know. I did.
Do you have a ritual that could make me throw a rock further than I already can?
That
Just
that is-
hypothetically.
Why?
If they
Wait,
did
wait,
that with
wait,
rock.
what? Wait, why do you want to throw a rock in the first place? Like, what did the rock do to you?
I'm just putting out feelers for the kind of stuff
skipping
you guys
rocks
have.
on a lake. Skipping rocks on a lake.
Sure.
Oh, okay. We don't.
Oh,
not sure if we have
I know. What about communicating long distance with somebody?
I mean, we do have I mean, I'm not sure if they are rituals as such. Oh yes. That is why you need to find your squirrels. We do have a spell we use, a ritual we use for sending messages long distance via an animal. Not other animals are available. We could teach it to you if you wish.
Wouldn't that require being able to talk to the animals? I can't talk to animals other than Sindri.
You just give it the message, and it will repeat the message.
In common?
Common, yes. Have you never seen a messenger rabbit before?
No.
I don't usually ask them before I eat them, so probably not.
Oh, I mean, that's the problem. That is the downside of animal messengers. They do occasionally meet an unfortunate demise. And the last thing a hunter hears, the thing a hunter hears as they're setting their trap is, "Please, this is a message for so and so." And the hunters never carry the messages on. It's really sad.
No, I don't think that would work.
Don't want. I mean,
considering the way that we travel. I don't think asking an animal to give messages will work.
It's just running to the problem of if your person is too far away, your animal's legs get tired out before the spell wears off. Let's see. I'm not sure really what we can offer you here. Our rituals are not really designed for perhaps the same thing that people outside of the forest want to do. They're often a little niche, one could say. So most of them really do concern talking to animals. That is the majority of the ritual school really is or unless you want to make your food and drink nice and pure and non-poisoned.
I'm gonna look at Kursara for that one.
Be handy for Torvald's bruise.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Actually, that one could work.
Or walking on water.
That one would work too.
Breathing underwater. Pretending to be dead.
Pretend. What about? Wait, breathing underwater or walking? What do you think? I'm looking at Kursara. What do you think?
Walking on water could be very useful. Especially if we have another incident where someone falls overboard or gets tossed.
Or I don't know. Do you remember when we ended up fighting those creatures under the water?
Ugh, unfortunately, yes.
Look, when you have, we can set up some kind of teaching circle. You can spend a couple of days with us and learn this. Once you decide what it is you want to learn.
Can you give us a day or so to figure which one we want to learn?
We're not going anywhere, but yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You know, those messenger animals, I've got as many as you want.
But if I'm not wearing the hat, how can I send a message to you?
I like you enough, I would let you borrow the hat.
That well, maybe we'll talk to Adair and figure out which one would probably be best for all of us.
Either walking on water or breathing under it, I would say.
That or the food one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Torvald and Adair, you find the others sort of standing by this weaving circle, debating the relative merits of various druidic rituals.
What are y'all talking about?
Learning things, and
You're talking about learning something, Chrysara. You don't have to lie to me.
how to save myself from your terrible cooking.
Well,
Or maybe breathing underwater. Or maybe
that.
walking on water.
well, we have good news. You can figure out your things later, but we were able to get what we needed to get Eira back. And it only cost us your hammer, Chrysara. And the gold hand.
I will break you into 1,000 pieces if you sold my maul.
How? I've got your hammer, or they've got your hammer.
I'll use my bare hands.
Wait, did you actually give Fennel the maul in the end?
No, I did not.
You little shrimp, you better not have.
Who are you calling a shrimp?
You.
Well, I guess that was pretty clear, but you know what I meant.
I will shove a javelin up your butt and use your beard for a mop.
I'd like to see you try.
I would like to remind you that I told them we'd be on good behavior, not break things. We have a mission. Could we go do it before you break something, Chrysara?
All right, we have a mission. We've got to do some things for him.
We have a mission.
Aye, a mission. We best get going. We got to go to some place that's bone something.
Bone Brook. I can only imagine it is a stream filled with the bones of enemies. You should really like it, cool. Chrysara.
Sounds like a fascinating place. I can't wait to go.
Let's go.
What's the going? What are we doing?
That actually reminds me of the thing, Adair. You saying it like that.
I was kind of going for that. I'm into the thing kind of a mood after the last few days.
Well, Uno, you up for a fight? What do you think?
Yeah.
As long as you
better
didn't
than
sell
here.
my maul.
I'm losing my mind.
All right. Well, let's get to the boat. We best get going.
So how many?
So, just to remind you, it is. I think it was it dawn as you arrived here?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Sure.
I think it was. You'd flown through the night because I think one of you did not take a long rest.
Uh-oh.
That's
can I have a Constitution saving throw from Adair, please?
No. Ask for something else.
Wait, so we've had a long rest, right?
That's a night.
You've had a long rest.
It's a 19.
Everyone but Adair had a long rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Adair's not got his spell slots back. If he had any, he's not used. he'd used, but you've not got any exhaustion yet.
Yep.
Are wild shapes short rest or long rest?
I get them back at a short rest. Already did that and then burned one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you've had a short rest since.
actually, I burned 2 of them. So I'm going to be sleeping on the trip.
All right.
Yeah, you've got a chance to take a rest on the boat if you'd like.
Not metagaming that at all.
All right, so you set off from the beautiful, idyllic, slow-paced, and definitely not irritating grove of druids.
Yeah. As we're leaving, Torvald's gonna kind of like as we're passing Eira's body, Torvald's gonna kneel next to it and he's gonna say, "Don't worry, Eira. We're gonna save you, and I'll never let this happen again. I promise." And then he's gonna kind of just put his hand kind of on her shoulder, and then he just take a second, and then he'll stand up and head off.
Okay. So you fly through the day.
It takes a whole day, so
Yes.
can I get a long rest?
Yes, you can get a long rest. Yes,
Sweet, we
you
get to
can take
fight
a
at
long
night.
rest.
Let's do it.
Who's
Assuming you
flying?
let him sleep.
Who's flying?
Yeah, that's my question. Who's flying? It's not Adair. Anyone but Adair can fly.
It's not Uno.
Would you like to give it a spin?
I don't think you would like me to give it a spin at all.
Torvald can fly it, I guess.
Alright, so with Torvald at the helm, which is a slightly bumpier sort of journey, there's a sort of an occasional sort of faint rumble of thunder in the distance. As you fly northeast towards Bonebrook, and the sun is setting by the time the town comes into view. And town is perhaps a generous term here. This is a small settlement. You can see it from above. You can see this strung out selection of buildings and walkways, sort of interspersed with small boats and patches of land, sort of straggling outwards into sort of scattered farmsteads and sort of areas of solid ground amidst this swamp. And there's a few clumps of trees, but mostly it's just a massive swamp, marshland, pools of water. And as the sun is setting, you can see the sunset glinting across the water. You are at the very northern edge of what is known as the Marl Marsh, which is a vast stretch of marshland that reaches from here on the borders of the Guthrie Forest right down into salt marsh by the sea and across sort of hundreds of miles. Yeah, down by this up here is not salt marsh, but down by the sea would be lagoon and salt marsh.
Are there ghosts there? Are there
Oh, no,
ghosts?
salt marsh is just a general term
Oh,
for marshes that are salty. But yeah, there are ghosts there
okay, cool.
and pirates and weird kraken people. Of course there are.
Of course.
But yeah, as you descend down, you can see this scattering of houses on the edge of this swamp. And my question is, are you landing your large flying boat directly in the town, outside the town? What's your approach here, guys?
We'd land it probably outside of the town, so it's not. Yeah. Park it outside.
And are you trying to sort of arrive in town without them realizing you arrived in a flying boat, or are you just trying to park it out of the way?
I mean, close enough that we don't have to walk too far, but far enough away that they preferably can't see it, I guess.
Okay. So you take your boat down and there's plenty of water around to land a boat in. Like, it's not a shortage of water. And then as you head sort of through this boggy, swampy ground towards the town, I am going to ask for a survival check from whoever's taking the lead here.
I will happily do that if nobody else wants to step forward. Go ahead, Aldous.
To the boggy town is good.
You're muted though.
Yeah, I will take the lead on this one. Hold on, let me bring up my. You said survival?
I mean,
yes, please.
Might be best to have a dare do it.
It's just
I got a 14.
Okay. So you can see the lights of the town getting closer as you make your way through this dark swamp. And you're perhaps perhaps a mile or so out of the town when Torvald and Adair, both of you hear a sound. And see something out of the corner of your eye, and you see what you thought, for instance, was a large log in the swamp. It seems to be following you. This rather large, long log. It's definitely, moving after you.
Torvald, I assume you see the log?
Aye, it's log. It's better than wood.
Everybody loves log.
Right.
Yes, everybody loves log.
And just to make clear, Amalia had asked after the last time she had to traipse through a swamp if she could remain on the boat this time. Traipsing through swamps, not her favourite activity.
Aye, stay back and keep a lookout.
Yeah, you can. Something is following you. Something.
Adair's going to suggest to Torvald that that Adair's going to sneak off a little bit to the side and try to get around behind it if Torvald would let the others know, and see if we can figure out what this thing is.
All right, now might be a good time to grab your weapons.
Uno is first in line. She missed her sword very much.
I rub my hands together.
I'm definitely getting my maul back.
And I cast Prestidigitation to have sparks fly up when I rub my hands together.
She's becoming a show-off. I love it.
And as you rub your hands together, as you retrieve your weapons, it's at that point I need you to roll me initiative. This thing does not have a surprise round, but I'm going to see how many of you get a chance to be aware as out of the swamp there rears up the huge snapping jaws of this enormous reptilian creature. It is huge, and for any of you who've seen one of these before, which hailing from the frozen north of Isfjell, you may not have done, this is an absolutely enormous crocodile.
I got an 18.
18?
Yeah, I rolled a 19,
right.
but -1.
Torvald and his negatives.
But there's some positives there too. They outweigh the negatives.
Okay. Uno down on 8. Oh, you guys.
We didn't
Are you,
roll too well.
are you napping?
Yeah. We just got our weapons back. We're like, oh, reunion.
Oh,
My sword, I give it a little kiss.
I'm really hoping I'm reading the one for Aldous wrong, because it says -6, and I'm not sure how bad a modifier you need for that.
There is a space between the two lines.
Her initiative is so low that
Space
she's in a
between-
different round.
The two lines.
So yeah, Torvald, you get an instant to act as this thing rears up, and I'd like you to, as you are standing together in a group, I will let you pick your exact placements. Yes, are up to you, but
How far away are we?
it is, I'd say at this point, about 10 feet away from you. So
Oh,
pick an area 10 feet away from this enormous crocodile to be sort of,
like here-ish.
I'll say stick you on this.
Like we're over this way somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, you're over this side. Pick a side and stick to the side.
All
Alright.
Well, I did say I was trying to move off away from the group. I just didn't know if that happened
Yeah.
before it attacked or after. So.
Oh yeah. You can be a bit away from the group.
All right, looks like we're getting started early. And Torvald's going to reach down and rip the spirit out of his axe as his blue lightning spiritual axe and just throw it at the crocodilian. And boom. And I will attack. And that's not good. That is 11 to hit.
That does not hit. This just bounces off this thick hide.
Ouch. All right. Then Torvald will call down a couple of bolts right next to his head as we toll the dead for a DC 17.
That is a failure.
All right. Sorry, 16. 16.
Still a failure.
Okay. And it has not taken damage yet, so it is
No.
8. Sadly. All right, it's going to be 11 necrotic damage.
All right. So as this thunder rumbles, the crocodile lunges forwards towards Torvald, and as it does so, Uno and Aldis, you hear movement from behind you, and you see coming up out of the darkness a second enormous crocodile.
What the hell are all of these?
And as this one lunges towards Torvald, I don't think that is going to hit, as its jaws snap at you. That is a 13.
Nope. He's going to put his shield right in its mouth.
And you see the length of its tail whipping around towards Kristara, because it has the range. And that is an 18 to hit Kristara. That was a yes.
What size creatures are these? Out of curiosity.
Huge.
They're huge. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Yes. It is. This is. I don't think any of you would have met a crocodile.
20 feet. 20 feet long.
Probably, yeah.
That's
20
the
feet
length
long.
of
It's
four average people, top to bottom.
it is big, but it has rolled very poor damage there. That is 7 points of bludgeoning damage to Kristara, and I do need Kristara to make me a strength saving throw.
Good. $26.
You can keep your feet fine. And it is Adair's turn.
All right. Well, with the new one splashing up and everybody engaged with the other one, Adair is going to turn towards the new one, reach his hands up into the air.
Like you just don't care.
Like I just don't care. And he's going to call out to the Thunderer.
Ah,
Ooh.
Thunderer,
yes.
smite this beast. And so the one that's a little bit distant over this way, a storm cloud is going to form. Big cloud about 60-foot radius, and a large beam of lightning is going to strike down at this beast, and it needs to make a dexterity saving throw with a
That is a
DC of
6.
That is a fail. So that is going to be 3d10. Let me see.
Did you actually take a level in cleric?
No, this is a
Or
druidic
just druid
spell.
spell?
Yeah.
Druid
Ah.
spell.
Man,
Druids love calling lightning.
That is going to be 23 lightning damage.
This is one shocked and angry crocodile now.
Aye, that's how you do it. Great job of there.
Alright. And are you staying?
And I'm
Staying
staying
put
put.
there?
I'm going to
Yeah?
stay put.
Alright.
Yes.
Uno. Dos.
Cool, hello. These guys are annoying. Okay. She is going to go ahead and use a bonus action. Well, yeah, no, she's going to. Okay. So she's gonna go ahead and take a Crimson Right die of damage for her sword. Oh, 6. Okay. So Uno goes ahead and takes out her sword that she's been lovingly doting on once now that she's gotten it back. And she's gonna just take it and just there's an open part on her like her outfit and armor where there's like an area on her arm that she can just kind of so she'll take it out and just kind of like slash it against her arm, and then all of a sudden it's like on fire. So it just kind of goes up into like a very crimson blaze, and she'll just kind of stalk towards the crocodile over here. And she is going to go ahead and strike at it. It's been a while since I've played Blood Hunter, so I'm trying to remember how everything works.
I was trying to remember how D&D worked.
It's been so long. Dude, you get a kidney stone and you forget how to live your life. So let's see. So I will go ahead and strike at it with my great sword. 17? Does 17 hit?
That will hit. Yeah, that hits.
Fantastic. Which means I do 5, 8, 12 damage plus the Crimson right? I forget. My Hemocraft die is a D6, right? So then I do an additional. So I do 12 slashing damage and then 4 fire damage, I believe.
All right, 12 slashing, 4 fire.
And then immediately I'll just be like, I'll just kind of take my sword, swing it around a little bit and look at it, see how hurt it is.
It doesn't look great. Like it looks like it's perhaps considering its life options right now.
All right, finish it off, and I'll go ahead and do my second attack. Let's see. Does 19 hit?
Yes.
Fantastic. So then that's for 10. Okay, so 14 slashing and 6 fire damage, I believe. If I did this wrong, I'll cry and apologize later.
There is crocodile blood everywhere. This thing is still alive, but you see it sort of just sink back down, trying to sort of get out of this situation. It is not loving life anymore.
Cool. I'll go ahead and just kind of stand my ground in an intimidating manner and be like, you can run if you want to.
All right, Chrisara.
All right, might. I'm going to move
let's
around.
get to the mall.
And I am going to rage, and when I rage, I'm going to activate my power and give it 3 ice damage. But I'm going to swing my maul around, and that is an 18.
That'll hit, and you watch this sort of frost across the surface of this swamp around Krasara now.
All right, so we are going to reckless. So I get roll twice. Right?
Yep,
Are
advantage.
you doing your second attack or your first attack? You did your first
My
attack
first
already.
attack.
Your first
Did your
attack.
first attack
Well, when I
already.
rage, well, hold on. When I rage, it activates my power. Does that count as my attack?
No. And then you attacked. You rolled an 18 for attack, right? On your d20?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So then you got to roll damage for that.
Okay.
And then you've got your second attack.
Yeah.
Then okay. So that would be a 12. Wait, no. Am I rolling for damage? I don't
Just
need my
damage.
d20 yet.
Yeah, damage.
I just need my d6. So it's 2d6.
2d6 plus 4, I believe.
Yep. So 7, 10, 11. So 11 damage on that one.
Okay. And did you say you rolled a 12 to hit the second time? Was that?
Yes.
Or were you doing that recklessly?
Well, I was going to use reckless, but I think reckless has to be your first attack.
Reckless has to be one of them's your first attack. It's either
your first attack on your turn, you can attack
Right.
recklessly. So
Alright.
technically that doesn't.
yeah.
So the second one misses, but yeah. The first
Did
one
you roll a 12 on the die?
hits
Yes.
So it's a 17 to hit then.
Okay.
that will hit. Add your modifiers.
So then it's 2d6 plus 4, I believe.
Okay.
We've not played for a couple of weeks. We're a bit rusty.
Yeah, we've not
Yeah,
at all.
sorry.
I've been in straight up Chronicles of Darkness mode. I'm used to my 10s. They're so much easier.
Yes, they are. They are a little bit easier.
Just getting back into the swing of
11,
things here.
12, 13, 15. So
That's
that's
alright. I'm gonna keep asking you to
15.
roll navigate checks and roll percentile die. I've been
Okay, so that's 15.
15. That will hit, yes. So
Yeah.
roll your damage, which I think was it?
Was that
2d6
the
plus.
That was the damage.
Oh, that was the
15
damage.
Yeah, because I had 6,
Okay.
12.
Alright.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. This crocodile also looking unhappy, let's to say the least. As Aldous, it comes round to your turn.
All right, I'm gonna use my Eldritch Blast after I back up 3 steps. And I'm gonna use my Eldritch Blast, and remind me that's 2d20 for the attack, 1 for each, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one for each beam. Are you which of the crocodiles are you targeting?
Both of them, but
One for each,
nothing.
yeah.
Nothing.
Alright. Nothing?
Nah, I got a 4 on one and a 5 on the other. Oh wait, but my attack plus 7. So that's 5 plus 7. That's 12, and then the other one is not. They're not enough.
No. These crackly beams of energy just go jetting off into the darkness. Probably one quite close to Krasara by the angle.
Oh jeez.
And that brings us back round to Torvald.
All right. Torvald's gonna do one of these things as the bolts goes by his head.
Be careful where you're aiming that.
I'm sorry.
And then Torvald's going to call down a couple of bolts next to its head, and we'll do a Toll the Dead.
The one close to you?
What's that? The one close.
The
to
one
me.
that's yeah. And that is a 17.
Oh, that will pass. And then we'll attack it with the spiritual weapon. As Torvald's going to have it come into his hand, and then he's just going to swing it right at the head of the crocodile. And that's going to be 26 to hit.
think that might hit.
Okay.
Just check. Yeah, no, that definitely
Is that
hits.
gonna hit? Are we sure? Are we sure?
I think
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
11 force damage.
All right. So the crocodile, as it's turned around, is going to disengage and slink back, chastened into the swamp. You see, it just slinks back under the water, and this one over here is the same as "You're not worth it. You're not worth it for dinner." No, let's not bother. They disengage and start slinking away into the swamp.
Do you know what water is terrible at running away from?
Lightning. As Adair, it's your turn. What are you gonna do here?
Well, if they've disengaged, there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do. So, do I see anything else that appears to be a threat in the immediate area?
I mean, there's a Cressara, but other than that,
Okay.
she's angry looking.
Anything I'm not used to that appears to be a threat.
You know what? Make me a perception check. Make me a perception check here. There might be something you can...
That's going to be a 23.
So, you think beyond the crocodile, you catch a glimpse of something moving off in the darkness. Just for a moment, you see sort of the waters and the surface of the swamp itself sort of twist up for a moment, twist and move, and then back down into the surface of the swamp, as though the waters themselves had come to life for just a moment.
Is it more than 120 feet away from me?
Let me just think of measurements again. Feet are not my 120 feet. You know what? No, it's less than 120 feet away from you. It's probably over sort of this direction.
I'm going to cast lightning at it. At the place where I saw it. And need a DC 15 dexterity from it.
Okay, that will be a 14.
So that fails.
That fails, and the lightning is crackling over.
That's going to be 14 points of lightning.
Okay, so as the lightning crackles, you watch as the water rears upwards, and off in the sort of dim lights from the town and the moonlight and sort of scattered marshlight, you see the water twist upwards in a column of very angry-looking water. And that's 14 points of damage.
Are we keeping initiative as it is?
Yeah.
Damn.
As Adair picked a fight with the water.
Nice
Yes,
try.
I did.
Ooh.
And I'd like to use my movement too. And I'm just going to angrily trudge my... Is this normal movement or...
This is difficult terrain. It is a swamp.
Okay, so about half of that. 10, 15.
Yeah. But I don't know if that affects druids or not.
In this case, I think it would. So, all right, I'm going to move 15 feet closer towards it. Very angrily, unhappily.
As the unhappy water stares back at you. And, Uno, it's your turn.
Great. I've confirmed that what I did was correct, so very exciting. Cool. So, gosh. So we have an elemental now? Is that what's happening?
It would seem so, yes.
Okay, and what type of element? It's a water elemental?
As far as you can tell, it's angry water.
Great.
And...
Well, my sword's on fire, so I'm gonna keep going after the crocodiles. The one that I was originally hitting is running away, right? So
yes.
He's fine. Is the other one running away, or is it still standing around?
The crocodiles are
They're
both
both
running
running.
away.
Oh, that's great. Oh, what do I do? Let's see. Uno doesn't know what to do, so she'll just go closer to it and hope that maybe she can be a meat shield while other people are fighting it. So that'll be my turn. I'll just go meat shield.
Okay. Krasara.
Oh, yeah.
The crocodiles are running away, and Adair has picked a fight with water. What would you like to do?
She would like to do math.
Mute
And
math. Aldous, you will be up next.
M&Ms. M&Ms. So what I'd really like to do is I'm
She's
gonna move
muted.
here, and I'm gonna
I'm gonna
swing
move
with my
here.
maul. Yeah,
I'm gonna
and
take out my
stick tongue
javelin
out a little
and-
bit just in case, because it makes it more accurate.
And
Okay,
Smile
so
at the
I'm
camera.
going to move there, and just because I can't reach that thing, I am going to plunge my hand into the water in front of Aldous and freeze it solid so that she has a place to stand.
okay.
Oh, thanks.
As she proceeds to like smile at you, step on it, and
To go whoop.
I'll hold you.
Right. Aldous. Got a little ice platform. What would you like to do?
I don't really want to get any closer, so I'll stay where I'm at. I look at Krasara questioningly a little bit, and then I'm going to look at what Adair fought, and I'm gonna try to do my Eldritch Blast again. I'm gonna use both beams to hit the one thing.
Hit the angry water.
So that's a 19 plus 7, and then there's a 9 plus 7. So 16 and 28.
26.
Both of those will hit.
26. Awesome. Wait. How much is it? 1d10 plus 4. So that's 8 and 9 damage, respectively. So 17
Okay.
damage.
17 damage. The water is very definitely angry at this point. And it is still surging its way towards you as Torvald, you see what's going on over here.
And is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay.
Yes. This
Why'd
thing
you
rolled
have
a
to go
17.
and piss off the water?
he just smiles. Right.
The only response I could get was not appropriate for a stream.
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to. Torvald's gonna run up in front of Krasara, trudging through this swamp here, and then he's gonna kind of like reach back as he kind of pulls the weapon as close as he can, probably like right on Krasara's head. So.
We'll put it next to it for the sake of.
Watch out!
You can have it there. You can have it there for the sake of not forgetting that Krasara exists.
Shh, it doesn't exist.
Who are you?
All right. Guess we gotta fight this now.
And Torvald will call another couple bolts down as we toll the dead on this here thing.
How wise is water? Water, it turns out, not so wise.
No,
That is an
Water has
abject
memory.
failure. Abject
Gotcha.
failure.
All right, and it's been damaged already.
It has been damaged.
All right, cool. We like to hear that, because then we get to get 17 necrotic damage in there. 17.
Just checking something.
I'm curious what the effect of necrotic damage is on water.
I was trying to picture it. How would you? Yeah.
So
I would
it gets inside of the molecules, and it actually just separates out the oxygen from the hydrogen molecules. It
No.
breaks the chemical bond.
I would figure it would
atomic
go
bonds,
stagnant
Yeah.
and not safe
Sludgy.
to drink.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think those
gonna
free
be
oxygens,
sludgy.
those free oxygens should bond with other water molecules and make hydrogen peroxide, and then it starts to bubble as well.
Exactly.
This holy
Science.
water is, due to unknown magic science reason, just bubbling the surface.
It's
The grass around it dying a little. As this angry column of water comes surging forwards. And as it surges forwards, these tendrils of water come reaching out towards Uno. And Uno, that is an unnatural 20 to hit you. Does that hit you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Dirty,
So
dirty
you
20.
are grappled. You find yourself being pulled towards this creature.
Hate that.
As you are grappled, you are restrained as this thing pulls you in, and you feel the water starting to fill your lungs as it's attempting to try and drown you. And you will take, if I find my dice, 9, 11, 14 points of bludgeoning damage as this water batters into you, pulls you in close. You can feel it attempting to drown you. And the crocodiles exit stage left. Food fire bear.
Very good.
And Aldous, it is your turn.
Oh, I'm gonna smack that bubbling piece of water again with the Eldritch Blast. Again. That's a 16 and a 4, so 16 plus 7. That passes. 4 plus 7, that is an 11.
An 11 does not hit.
Okay.
Maths.
7. So that's 11 damage.
11 points of damage. Alright. And as this bolt strikes thing, the water collapses downwards in this bubbling pool. And Uno, you find yourself freed as this water collapses downwards and back into the swamp, leaving no trace behind.
I'm turning to Chrisara. I'm gonna learn that breathing underwater thing.
This would probably be a good idea considering this.
I've got a hat for that.
Yeah, Uno's gonna just like stand up and wipe herself off and cough a bunch and just be like,
And as you can see,
"Good work,
you can see
team."
the lights of the town that were a mile north of you. But I think this would be a good opportunity to take a quick break.
Yes.
So we will be back. Welcome back. So after your run-in with crocodiles and angry water, it's a short distance further till you reach the rather depressing, muddy settlement of Bonebrook. And you can see this cluster of houses and wooden walkways built half on stilts out of this boggy swamp. And there are lights shining from the windows of these huts, and you can see that there are two buildings considerably larger than the rest. And one of them you'd say is perhaps either an inn or a shop of some sort. There's a sign on the outside that depicts like a drinking vessel, and the other one is a slightly a slightly grander looking building, and you can see on the hanging from the front of it are these two long banners. You can just make out in the light shining through from the windows indoors. And these banners are mud-stained, frayed, and look quite old, but embroidered into both of them is this long weaving golden dragon, which you would know to be the emblem of the Empire of Eldenra, which is the elven-ruled empire of which you are at the very northern edge of. And yeah, so other than that, the buildings are mostly sort of small, depressing-looking huts. You can see there's a few small boats pulled up, and like more like rafts than sort of seafaring vessels that you'd come across in Isfjell. And because it's nighttime, there's no one really around outside.
What was it we were supposed to do again, Adair?
Apparently there's some kind of trouble in the swamps, and I'm assuming it's different than the creatures and the water spout that we've already fought.
We probably should have asked for specifics.
Well, I found out where we were going. I figured that was enough. I mean, when do we ever find out all the details before we jump in?
Well, that's a good point. Let's get going. I'm sure we'll find trouble. We always do.
I think we should send Uno in to knock on the doors and see if anybody's home.
Or maybe we should go and knock on her door and see if she's home. Yeah, I almost slipped into an Australian accent. The crocodiles.
Yes.
So
G'day, mate.
Back, just eating ramen.
Oh, croc! We got here.
Oh, crikey!
Crocodile.
So as the I keep getting the number wrong. As the five of you sort of approach into the town, you see a couple of windows sort of cracked open just a little as like people peer out at you. Sort of like,
Hello.
Shut very abruptly.
Well, they're certainly shy, aren't they?
Maybe they just don't like dwarves.
Well, the feeling's mutual.
You don't like dwarves either?
I don't like people who don't like dwarves.
One thing you do notice as you walk past these huts is they are small huts, as in the doorways are sort of all no more than about 5 feet tall, probably possibly shorter, and everything about the houses is just down low and small in the most part. A couple of them are slightly taller, built with taller windows and that sort of thing, but the majority of them are houses in miniature.
Well, what do you think, Corsara? Would you like to knock on some doors?
I'd be delighted to knock on some doors.
Well, have at it.
I will march up and go bam, bam, bam.
Are you picking just a random house?
Just a
or-
random house. Whatever's closest to me.
I just was putting it here because I had it for descriptive purposes, but yeah, you feel free to. And so you knock. Let's say you're approaching from the south, for the sake of ease here. As you knock on the doors of one of these houses, you hear shuffling and scuffling from the inside, and then a few moments later, the door is cracked open a little, and you see a rather nervous gnome peering out.
We heard you might have some trouble here. We're here to help.
What? Where did you come from?
Well, originally from Isfjell, but
Aki, there's some strange people. And the second gnome appears from behind. Why, they are strange. Trouble? Hey, there's been a bit of trouble around here. Isfjell, did you say you're from?
Aye.
Where's that?
Well, it's off to the east and little
And
north.
north, with lots of ice.
Oh, like where you know, all the barbarians live.
Not quite.
You know,
but
axe wielding, fur dress. No.
That's
We only have
Chrysalis,
one of
like,
those
covered
here.
in fur.
Wait, Tis, how warm is it?
It's
Ow.
quite cold. It's winter.
I've got my my fur lined cloak on.
I mean, are you hear about the swamp things?
Are they causing you trouble?
I mean, the swamp is literally attacking us. It's a bit of a concern.
Then yes, that's why we're here.
I've not been able to go out fishing in an entire week. My cousin went out in the swamps, never came back. Barely anyone's been coming back from the swamps who've been out there. And you know, you go out and then all of a sudden, and then
Wait,
next thing you know,
do you mean those big, scaly green chomping things? What are
oh
those?
no, that's the crocodiles. They live here. They're normal. You don't have those where you come from?
No,
No.
Not
there's
really.
a lot of ice.
We really don't have time for all this small talk. Can you just tell us what the problem is?
Problem is angry water that keeps trying to murder us all.
There a specific place where you notice it more than others? Because we came across some earlier, but it didn't seem like much trouble.
No one dares leave the town anymore. Every time you go out, you stray too far out from the town, and up comes the water. I think it's the lizards people
And where are they?
out in the swamp. They've had it in for us for years.
Which direction are they in?
Out east. I think they've used their strange druid shaman magic, and they've sent the swamp after us.
All right. Is there anyone in the village that might know a little bit more than you do? An elder or something?
He's suggesting I don't know anything.
No, I'm just wondering if someone might have different information. They've studied it.
I mean, you could talk to the fiddlefins over at the shop. They tend to know most of the local gossip.
All right.
Or you could try Granny Twigs. She lives out a mile or so north of the village. She's grows us herbs and things. Or I guess you could try the administrator, but he's
But is the administrator the one in the building with the dragon thing? outside?
yeah, you know, deals with the taxes, and not that we have anything much to pay in taxes. Supposed to help us out if we have any issues or anything, but he's not very helpful. Useless elf. So
All right. Well, thanks for the information. We're going to do our best to help you.
I just advise you to, you know, if you're going angry and knocking around on people's doors in the middle of the night, you're quite an intimidating bunch. I mean, you're all very tall, and
I thank you.
That was just he was
the
talking to
gnome
me.
looks up at you.
That was just a normal knock. It wasn't even angry. I can demonstrate an angry knock if you want.
No, thank you. 3 of my vases fell off the shelf.
Let's go to the. Is the shop open right now, or the one with the
Fiddle-
mug on the outside?
The Fiddlefen Emporium of everything. They'll be shut right now, but we only have
Sure, I
one
can
shop.
I'm sure I can open the door.
Okay, what about the administrator? If he is, do you guys have any place for us to stay the night?
I mean, you could ask either the shop sometimes houses guests. They've got some beds, or you can try the administrator's office. They've got some space. We don't get many visitors to Bone Brook, to be honest. We get
Well,
some usually when the fish traders come up, they've got a boat or, you know.
all right,
That sort
we'll
of
go
thing.
check out the administrator. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, goodbye. They slam the door in your face.
All right, we'll head over towards the administrator's office.
So you head over, and it's this large building, with two doors up from the house you'd knocked on, and it's this 2-story building, but also it's built very much more for elven and human height rather than gnome height. So it stands a lot higher than everything else in around. It looks to be more sturdily built than some of them as well. Although its too is sort of mouldering around the bottom and seems slightly wonky.
Guess we'll knock on the door.
And the building again shakes a bit as you knock on it. Like,
Well, that's a bit
timbers don't feel
disconcerting.
incredibly sturdy beneath the knock, but you hear rustling from inside, and not long after, an elf opens the door. This red-headed elf dressed in what appears to be a dressing gown, sort of wrapped around him, with fluffy slippers on.
Hi, we need a place to stay for tonight.
Right? And you are? Right? Just okay. He sort of looks back and forth out into the swamp, sort of.
Didn't you hear the lightning and thunder earlier? There's a storm on its way in. We'd really like to get out of the weather, please.
Come in. Yes, right. Are you travelers? Did you
We're
walk here?
travelers. We heard that there might be some trouble, and typically we work for pay, helping people with their problems they can't handle themselves.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Do you have
Come
any
in.
more of those awesome dresses that we could wear?
My dressing gown?
Mm-hmm.
I have a spare one.
Okay.
Wait, are we
I'm
being
sure it'll
paid?
fit. Wait. Yeah, are you expecting to be paid?
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
what you need us to do.
And the dressing gown doesn't count. I just want it.
Make me an intimidation check for Sarah here.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you have just come into town and demanded this guy's dressing gown, but it may actually work.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna get his dressing gown because my intimidation is. So that makes me a 15.
You can borrow it. And he hands you a matching sort of plush, sort of dark green, rather fluffy dressing gown.
I put it on.
Oh, right. Look, I mean, I don't know how much you know, like, who told you about what was going on here? Or anything? Look, come in, take a seat. Mine, oh, no, not that chair, that one, it's, or that one.
Why are you not
That one
those
over there,
chairs?
the legs will collapse.
Okay.
It's the damp. Everything. Just, it gets into everything. You know,
Have
it's
you
just,
thought of maybe importing sealants of some sort?
this whole place is sinking. Like, this, half the time half of this building's underwater, and then it's, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how you'd start feeling this place. Honestly, I mean,
you could move.
if I could, I would.
Why can't you?
I got assigned here. I managed to annoy my superior back at the tax office, and they assigned me to this place. This
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So I've got another 5 years here before before the next rotation.
Well, I'll stand then, and you can go along and explain what you're going to explain to us.
I mean, essentially, this place is a bit shit anyway. All the time, always. The locals are unfriendly, the place is sinking, the swamp is infested with giant crocodile monsters, angry lizard folk, and other things. But things have got worse over the last couple of months or so, and now the water itself keeps attacking people and dragging them off to a watery grave.
Where?
As in, where does it drag them to, or where does it attack them?
Both.
Well, anyone who's wandering outside far from the village can get attacked, and they just next. I mean, I've not been attacked myself yet, so I don't know the full details. And honestly, we've only had 2 people ever come back, so we don't know we don't really know the details. Most people, it's just a distant scream on the horizon and they're never seen again. It's
Okay, so we're meant to wander the swamp finding these water things that attack everybody.
I mean, you came to me. Look, I've been trying to get to the bottom of this. I've been trying to understand this. The locals are not particularly amenable towards imperial authority, and I've even gestured to a bookshelf where the lowest 2 parts of the bookshelf are empty, and the upper half you can see there's various books on like gnomish culture and a lot of books with elvish titles, which I don't think any of you left read. Do you read elvish?
Nope.
No, in which case, no. In which case, you recognise the script, but you don't understand the actual language. It's written in the same alphabet. You can sound it out, but it doesn't make much sense. I've been trying to get to grips with local customs out here and all that, but yeah, look, I can put you up for the night. Look, there's not much money in the budget here, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really have a budget for water demon problems.
You know what might be causing it? One of the villagers mentioned lizard people or something.
Possibly there's lizard folk out in the swamp, but they're not hugely friendly, and they do tend to shoot people if they get too near. It's one of the many delights of bone work.
Do you think they may be causing this, or?
It's possible. It's possible. Look, if you could do something, I would be immensely grateful, and I can probably... He pulls out a rather battered-looking ledger. I could reimburse you to the tune of around 47 gold pieces, 3 silver.
All right.
Really?
I mean, if that's all you have.
Unless you want crocodile hides.
I mean, it sounds like you pissed off some spirits, so depending on what the spirits want, you may need more.
I'd say it's a good down payment.
Right, well, 5 in Nyla.
Torvald,
That's
nice
that's
to
my
meet
name.
It's like, what?
Nice to meet you, Torvald of
Isfjell.
Isfjell. Huh, Isfjellians. Right. You see him look a little wary. Right. Okay.
No, we are not here to ravage and pillage.
For the most part.
Look, we don't have anything worth pillaging. As to whether we have anything worth ravaging, I will leave that to your judgment, but I don't think we do.
So you think it's lizard people that are doing this?
The locals think it's lizard people. The local wise woman, she claims that if they make, she keeps trying to talk people around to some idea that they need to sacrifice things to the swamp. No one's. I've tried to, keep her down on that one because she's starting to talk about. She started to talk about, they were out there offering up small animals to the swamp, but she says that's not enough, and there's starting to be whispers around town about least favorite children.
All right, that sounds interesting.
I don't think we should encourage them along that line of thinking. Sacrifice is, I mean, it's a very backward custom. I can't think of any civilized place where they, go around sacrificing animals or trying to appease nature and the gods. It's.
Well, do you think we should go talk to her?
Yes, I suppose.
Morning.
I mean, I can't stop you.
What time is it?
It is after nightfall. Other than that, you're not entirely certain.
Okay. Maybe we should wait until, daylight before we go traipsing around a swamp.
All right, we'll spend the night here and head out in the morning.
Right, well, I've only got 2 spare beds, but
You said
I
this
guess
place
someone's-
floods? When does it flood?
Yeah. Upstairs, every other week or so. It's all right. It flooded like 4 days ago. It's probably not going to flood soon. But the beds are upstairs. Most things are upstairs.
Torvald's gonna head upstairs and then he's gonna roll out his bedroll. You're ready.
So who's bunking with you?
I don't know.
With who? Who are you
No, the elf
addressing that
guy.
to? No, I've got 2 spare beds and my bed.
Mm-hmm. So which one of us gets your bed?
Priscilla,
I have-
you just take the bed. I'll sleep on the floor next to you.
No, you can have the bed. I haven't been able to terrorize anyone in a little while. I'm bored.
I mean,
I'll bunk with him. It's all right.
okay.
Somebody ain't gonna be sleeping tonight, and it's not for that reason.
What terrified-looking elven administrator. I mean, it's hard to judge elves by their age, but he definitely seems quite young. Like, just based on his demeanor, there's definitely like.
I hope you don't snore.
No. Look, I'll sleep on the floor. You have the bed. Right.
shrugs.
I'll just go to, and you see
I don't want to get cold though.
he pulls a couple of Basically, are you trying to intimidate this elf into being a bed warmer?
Pretty much, yes.
Wow. He's like the anti-bard. There's no seducing.
No,
You just hit one cold toast. Make me an intimidation check on this poor, terrified tax collector elf.
I've never wanted a nat 20 so bad in my life.
Torvald's gonna say, "Thunder help you."
Oh, God.
And somewhere off in the universe, the gods judge you.
He's got a war. He doesn't care.
That makes it a dirty 20. That's close enough.
Dirty 20. Yeah.
So essentially, you now have a terrified elf to spoon and keep you warm.
Somehow, I think dirty 20's more fitting.
It is.
Definitely feels dirty.
I'm gonna turn to whomever is standing next to me. I hope Amalia is okay.
Who?
Amalia,
Did I hear that?
the blind woman that's been on the boat.
She's sleeping on the boat.
She's alone on the boat. Oh,
Your
she's
cat's
in
with her.
But, yes, but if there are water things attacking people,
She will burn them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go grab her?
She'll burn the forest down.
You think she'll be fine?
Can your cat tell her?
she doesn't have a mental link to the cat? To Sindri?
I just hope she doesn't steal the ship and leave us here.
That's I can't.
I don't think she would be able to know where she's going.
Yeah, she could just tap it off of trees as she flew along. And...
She could take it just to spite us. There was that one time she does do things out of spite occasionally.
There is a non-zero chance that Amalia might want to decide to run off with the boat if you piss her off.
Don't ask me why I'm feeding ideas to the DM. I'm just...
Oh, all right. Well, let's get some sleep and we'll check in the morning.
All right. So, night falls. Adair, it's not been long since you slept, so you're kind of sort of.
I'll stand guard.
You can still sleep, but you're not getting any more long rest benefits.
Right. No problem.
It's not. So it's up to you if you sleep or not, but it's too soon to get the benefits of a long rest. As morning comes, you wake, either sleeping on the floor, sleeping in rather uncomfortable guest beds, or the slightly more comfortable master bedroom. In matching dressing gowns. Morning comes to Bonebrook. And
This kind of date is an intimidate.
poor 5 minutes slips away, like trying to tiptoe out.
No,
and escape.
no. I'm still cold and I'll just throw him back in.
I was gonna go make breakfast.
No, go make breakfast. I'm sure we're all hungry.
Right. Right. And just 5 in internal monologue is, please, oh God, can I get these people out of my house? Oh God, what have I done to deserve this?
You mean he didn't enjoy it?
Right?
Wait, these nightmare people have turned up.
What, he didn't? Krisaura's pretty. He didn't enjoy the snuggle?
Maybe he'll treat other people better now?
As you knock on the various bedrooms. There's breakfast and morning, and I made you porridge.
All right.
And fish.
Fish.
Porridge and
still-
fish.
Do we still have dragon jerky?
I don't know at this point. Depends on what rate you've been eating your dragon jerky. You can still have some if you'd like.
Torvald will get out of bed and go down and get ready to eat or eat, whatever.
Yep. Pretty much.
Right. So yeah, you were offered a breakfast of rather dull gruel and fish, and if everything goes well, yes, he's now properly dressed, not in his dressing gown, but in looks to be a slightly mildewed uniform of some sort. This dark green jacket trimmed with gold braid around the top, and the badge of a dragon sewn into one shoulder. Goes, right, well, was there anything else that you needed my assistance with today? I can escort you around to meet the wise woman if that would help. If you would think me making introductions would be of assistance to you.
I don't think that's necessary.
Right. Yes. So if you need anything that I have, I he sort of gestures around at the room and goes, if I want to get this resolved. And if honestly, if I don't know what not precarious, that's not the word I want. What's I forgot. Fickle. That's the word. Which fickle god sent you people? It seems to be a mixture of blessing and curse, and which of the maidens I've upset or pleased, I don't know. But I really hope you can help with the situation. Good luck. Still here.
Torvald's gonna hear good luck, and he's gonna think of Lady Luck and Eira, and he's gonna kind of just put his head down a little bit.
Small tear runs down his cheek.
The smallest
Drips
vital.
into his porridge.
Puts into his porridge.
The tear
Ivan looks a bit worried that he's
The tear flavors the porridge just a little bit.
Oh, Darren's gonna.
Regurgitation.
Oh God, Darren's gonna lean over to Aldous and go, maybe you should clean up his uniform a little bit.
And she's gonna turn to the elf dude. Take off your uniform.
You need to intimidate him first.
I can help you with that. Do you?
No.
I can fix your uniform.
I can see.
I didn't know.
I can see how our reputation with the Empire is growing, and we're making such a good impression.
He
Oh,
takes
this
off
would
the
be nice.
jacket. He's
Gotta
got a
just-
shirt on underneath, but he takes off the jacket. And just, and
I will take the jacket and I will I'll scrub it lightly with my hand, and I'm just gonna say scrubby, 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 and I'm gonna scrub. Use prestidigitation to clean the coat.
You know he knows magic exists, right? You could have just done it with it on him.
No.
Well, that's only half the uniform.
I know.
I would very much like to keep my trousers on at the moment, thank you.
But your trousers are mildewy and moldy. And that doesn't set a very good...
Let me just go get my dressing gown.
Well, before I left, I kind of took both dressing gowns. So
I can just see this guy reporting back
Gonna
to the
be
home
there.
office. These Vikings came in and they made me sleep with them. You mean they? No, just in the bed. And then in the morning they made me take my clothes off. And then they cleaned them.
This guy is gonna have the most
Worst
confusing...
Vikings ever.
I think
So
we're Viking wrong.
they obviously took everything. No, they cleaned stuff and they fixed our problem.
Well, two dressing gowns are gone.
Who?
Well, the one I was wearing and the one he was wearing, I took it.
He takes a sheet, uses it as a cover, hands you his trousers, and goes, just thank you, I guess.
Scrubbing.
You see him sort of looking around, trying to make eye contact. And see any of you acknowledging, like, looks to Uno, like.
I give him back his pants once I'm done cleaning them, and then I'm gonna clean up the dishes.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss. Much appreciated. Right, well, are you sure you don't want me to come with you?
Oh, you
Are
can
you
come
sure
with us
you
if you
want to
want.
come with us?
Come with us.
Sure.
Just make sure that no misunderstandings occur between you and the villagers.
But
At least if it gets cold.
So from what we learned last night, they don't like the way you treat them.
I've never said a bad word to them.
Are you sure you understand their customs?
I've been reading up on them, yes. My sister sent me half a dozen books on gnomish anthropology.
Have you talked to them to learn it firsthand? That's usually the best way to do it.
They're kind of scary.
They're 3 feet tall.
Have you ever invited them to stay the night and made them breakfast? I mean, look what it's done for our friendship.
That would be kind of weird. I mean, in training we're always told to keep a distance from the natives and the locals and make sure to keep a boundary with professionalism in place.
You're going to be stuck here for 5 years. Do you really want them to make it difficult for you?
You may have a point. You may have a point. This is my first assignment. I'm going to be honest with you here.
Maybe invite a couple nights a week. Invite a family over for a meal. Get
Don't
to
actually
talking.
eat them, just feed them.
Yeah, yes, that. And speak with them. Actually, learn about them.
You have a surprisingly good point there. You sure you've not been speaking to my sister?
I don't know who your sister is.
She's currently on an anthropology tour of the West, learning local customs and living with them.
This is the farthest west I've ever been.
Well, I can.
Anyways.
Actually, from her letters, I cannot recommend anywhere in the West. It sounds awful.
Well, we'll leave it up to you. Whether
Only
you want
it's
to
full.
come
It's
with
full
us
of.
or
It's
not.
full of cultists and crazy people and angry dwarves. No offense meant. Different angry dwarves.
Are you calling me angry?
No, look. Anyway, good luck with the wise woman. And if there's anything I can do to help, come talk to me. And right. Let's hope together we can resolve the murder water.
We need a better name for it, though.
Kind of like murder water.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh, yeah, I had a pleasant night's sleep. Thank you.
Torvald will start
Thank you.
heading out after he dons all his armor and shield and stuff.
All right, so you head out, following the directions that Fiving gave you. Were you going to the Wise Woman's hut, or what were your plans? Do you
Okay,
have
so we have 3 options. We can go check on your sister first. We can go to the store right here and see what information they might have, and then we can go to the Wise Woman. Or we can do 2 of the 3 or any order.
Oh, the store is right here.
All right, which one was it?
Torvald will kind of look around and see until he sees like a sign or something like that.
It's impossible to miss. It is the only other building that's larger than a hut size, and it has a sign outside that shows. You can see now in daylight, it's got carved into it various symbols: a fish, a tankard, a net, and a whole line of symbols sort of making its way around the building. A loaf of bread, a spade, a shovel.
Torvald's just gonna go and walk in.
And as you walk in, you can see there's various boxes and things piled on shelves on either side of the room, and perched up behind a counter, you can see a red-haired gnome. I've just realised everyone in this town now has red hair, and I don't know why.
I think they call that inbreeding.
One's an elf and the other's a gnome, but for some reason, all the tokens I have are redheads. So
It's because he's a redhead that he's there.
yeah, that's why they sent him there. It's
So
the town of the redhead, isn't it?
we're in this town in the marsh, and it appears to be a lot of inbreeding going on. If I hear banjos, I'm gone.
That would be your jam.
There's large reptiles as well.
We're in the bayou.
I'm used to those. I grew up in the bayous of Louisiana. That's no big thing.
See, I was thinking more, Norfolk, but that's not going to mean anything.
It's all British to me.
All right, we go into the
Swampy
shop.
and inbred. Shh. If anyone from Norfolk is here, I'm sorry.
Wow.
It's a riffing on Norfolk is a British tradition.
Yeah, so is pressing colonists, but that doesn't mean you should do it.
And getting kicked out of America. So.
and yes. Anyway, as you look up, a large column of rocks fall down from the sky.
And
we dodge every
dead.
one of them.
Quick, save the dinosaurs!
So as you walk into it, you see this cheerful-looking gnome man behind the counter. Morning.
Good morning. We were told we can get all the gossip from
All the gossip,
store.
all the goods at Fiddlefen's Gossip and Goods. We should go for that as a slogan. I hear you're the strangers in town. I've heard all about you. You went knocking on doors last night. Yeah. Kelly and Reese had a lot to say about you. Spent the night over at the governor's place, did you?
We did.
They're not lying about the gossip.
Yeah, we know everything that goes on around here.
Do you by chance know why we're here then? In that case?
Well, word is you're asking about the murder water. We need a better name for it, but
What about swamp things?
the swamp things. Yeah, the swamp thing. It's about the swamp thing.
So, do you know?
Although to be fair, that's not really very descriptive around here. Everything's a swamp thing. It's first started happening about 2 months back. Granny Twig says we need to offer more sacrifice to the swamp to deal with it. She suggested that the goat might not have been enough. She says we can deal with it if we sacrifice a person to it. Whereas the governor over in the big mansion says apparently that we're not allowed to go around killing people.
I would strongly suggest against killing people for the sacrifice because it's already taken people as sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
And it's not working.
It's taken a lot of people. A lot of people disappeared out in the swamp, not come back again.
Okay. Do you know maybe whereabouts?
Any points on a map of the wall and there, somewhere around there-ish, over there. All abouts around here, really.
Do you know if it's more than one?
I don't honestly know. I've not seen it personally. The only person I know who says they've seen it and come back alive is, there's William and Caliban. Both of them claim to have seen it. Or, someone saw Caliban fighting the thing, and then Caliban came back saying she'd managed to get away from it. And William said he ran into it out in the deep in the swamp, out down towards the Devil's Well, but...
Does anyone have any idea what might be causing it?
It's the lizard people.
Lizard
They
people.
put a curse on us, yeah. The lizard people put a curse on us. It's because we killed some of their crocodiles.
You killed their crocodiles. Why would you do that?
They were trying to eat us.
Fair enough.
Crocodiles or the lizard people?
Both.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's time to ask them then.
I'm looking around the
The crocodiles, they're not very
also
chatty.
talking.
There's a lot of sort of fishing equipment, the spears, nets, sort of dry goods and food stuff piled in like boxes and jars. This is very much a sort of a general goods store that sells all the bits and pieces that this community would need. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Nope, just looking around.
Yeah, there's nothing really that would catch your eye as being particularly, shiny or exciting. Like most of what is here is just you do notice tucked away dusty at the back of the shelf a couple of sort of novelty items made of crocodile skin. Crocodile skin belt, crocodile skin shoes.
The real question is, are there any
They gathered a
hats?
lot of the crocodile skin hats. Yes, there's a crocodile skin hat with like a crocodile skull attached to it.
Torvald, there's you a new hat.
Torvald's gonna take the hat and put it on.
Do you have any knives by any chance?
Knives. Yes, we sell knives. What kind of knives? Kitchen knives, fish gutting knives, crocodile gutting knives, big knives, small knives.
I'm not sure exactly. Just a knife.
I mean, yeah, we've got lots of knives. As I said, what kind of knife?
What's the best one you
Really
got?
vague description. Well, it depends what you want it for. Like, I mean, if you want it for gutting a crocodile or gutting a fish, you're gonna want very different types of knives here, to be honest. Or like a bread knife or a butter knife.
That's okay. We all know money can't buy knives anyway.
I mean, it literally can. We're a shop. We sell knives.
No one's seen surf ninjas.
So you don't want to buy a knife?
No thanks.
It'll take off his hat and put it down.
Would you like to buy the hat?
How much is the hat?
Well, that one, it's a very, very bespoke, finely made luxury item, collector's piece all across the Empire. I've heard they were all the rage up in the Tharis. It'll be 1 gold.
Go, Torvald. add to your collection.
All right. We'll put it on and pass a gold piece over.
The shopkeeper looks immensely pleased and takes this gold away. Like, best sale of the month.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything like a woman's hairpiece, something to hold hair in place?
Like some leather cords?
No,
Or string?
No.
Home?
That might work.
We've got this one made of wood.
Nah, you can get that anywhere.
Got this one made of crocodile.
Okay. I'll take that one.
That'd be 4 silver.
2 silver.
Oh, make me a persuasion check if you're trying to barter. Minuscule.
We all know how good my persuasion works. That's an 8.
4 silver.
3. And he sets it back down on the counter.
Oh, fine. 3 silver.
All right.
Have you got any ribbon?
Oh, jeez.
Yes, we got blue or off-white. It was white. It's now off-white.
What's the blue one made out of?
But the blue one? It's made out of ribbon.
Is it clean? Is it clean? Does it look mildewy?
He reels off the out of it and then shows you a clean bit of it. Look, it's fine. That bit's not mildewed.
That won't. I can't use 1 inch of blue ribbon. That's not clean.
Look, most of it's clean. Look.
My gosh. Oh, okay.
I'll buy.
Alice
give me the
reaches over,
ribbon.
grabs the ribbon between the two, brushes it a little bit, and says, "Scrubby, scrubby, scrubby," and it's clean.
I'll take the ribbon.
5 bronze. Or
Fine.
copper, or whatever. I keep always getting confused with this copper or bronze.
And I hand him 4.
Oh, I thought you said 5 prawns. I was like,
I
why would he have
any
shrimp?
prawns?
Okay, is there any other mundane items you want to purchase?
I figured everybody else was shopping. I wanted to shop a little bit. I mean, you know.
The least exciting shop.
I'm good. I've got 2 nightgowns and
I was just trying to make a Crocodile Dundee reference, and you failed me, Tiss.
I've not seen it.
you should have gotten the crocodile gutting knife because you have to have a big knife. You can say, "No, that's a knife."
Actually, not really. The crocodile. Never mind.
Alright, so sometime
Speaking to the
later,
expert.
having finished your purchases at the very boring, no magic items, no exciting weapons shop.
Lame.
Welcome to Isfjell.
Emporium.
Before we leave, I'm going to ask where the wise woman lives, like how to get to her.
And he points you to a path and says, just follow that path out of Bonebrook, north a mile or so. You'll find Granny Twig's house.
Granny Twigs. Okay, thank you.
On the left or the right?
Just follow the path. It's the only house.
It's very important if it's on the left side or the right for Granny Twix. Which one is it?
It's on the right.
All right, I'm not going then.
What? No, the right is the
I'll only
best
visit
side.
the left Twix.
Only the left
You
Twix.
don't-
That's right.
It's right Twix. Only the
Okay.
right Twix.
Okay. Torvald, you can go check on Amalia.
Actually, Adair was going to volunteer to do that, but now I'm not sure I want to.
You want to go to the right Twix.
This is very helping,
All right. And that's where we're going to end today.
The most irritating session of Isfjell's so far.
This is just revenge. I set them
Which is
really
saying
irritating
something.
druids at them, and then they got revenge.
We got revenge.
Wow. Uno has been beside herself this entire time.
I promised high stakes, drama, life on the line, and no.
Yeah, how much for blue ribbon? That's dirty.
All right, Torvald
it's
will
not
head out
dirty
towards
anymore.
Granny Twix's house.
Is anyone going to? Is everyone going to Granny Twigs, or are some people going back to check on the boat?
Adair is going to say he's going to go back to the ship and check on Amalia, and he is going to step to the end of the, I guess that's kind of a dock or a pier or something like that. And as he goes off the end of the pier, he is going to take the form of a crocodile and swim off.
Nice.
Okay.
Uno was gonna offer to come along, but she
Nice.
after she saw that.
Torvald jumps on his back, with the hat on.
Here's the hat on.
Yeehaw! Hustling him.
Okay. So Adair's gone to check back on the boat, and the other four of you going up this path to the house on the right.
The right Twix.
Right, Granny Twix.
And you, surrounded by the swamp and the mud, you see this little hut of a house. Like everything around here, sort of slightly sunken, wonky. Is this little stone chimney, and around it, sort of raised up from the swamp, you can see what looks to be some form of herb garden, growing herbs and also mushrooms. None of which are moving or slurping. As far as you can tell.
Torvald will go up and knock on the door.
And outside the front of the house, at one of these beds, is a woman who is not actually ancient looking. She's probably only in her sort of 50s or so. This middle-aged halfling woman, bent over and weeding at the garden. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. The name's Torvald. Nice to meet you.
The stirrer, but they call me Granny Twig around here.
Well, it's nice to meet you. We're trying to figure out more about what's going on around here. We're trying to help, and no one seems to know why the swamp's attacking people.
Oh, the gods have sent you to us. I knew help would come. I knew. So you've come to lend a hand to resolve things.
Well, we're fresh out of hands, but we're happy to help you.
Looks down at your hands. Oh, that's a shame. One could always do with an extra hand. Look,
We're here
now.
to help if you can give us any information about what's happening.
well, as far as I know, someone's put a curse on this town. And I think it'll only be lifted if someone goes and makes appropriate sacrifice. There's a place out in the swamps. The locals call it the Devil's Well.
Devil's Well. Okay.
Yes, it used to be a traditional place for sacrifices to be made to the gods of the swamp, but it fell out of practice a long while back. I think, well, that these gods are angry, and if an appropriate sacrifice is made at Devil's Well, then this whole situation should resolve itself quite nicely.
What all have you sacrificed?
Oh, so far, only a goat, 3 rabbits, a chicken, and a rat.
Have you tried a cow?
We don't have any cows. I think that only the sacrifice of a true innocent will do here.
And by innocent,
Or
what
failing
do you
that.
mean?
Oh, a child. A baby, most likely.
You think we need to sacrifice a child?
Yes. There's a few in the village.
Well, thanks for the information. Can you point us to the direction of this well?
Oh, out that way, about 3 miles or so. But it's dangerous out there. There's all sorts of things lurking in the swamp.
Do you have anything that might help us on our journey?
Oh, yes. I've got this here lucky charm.
Well, I'm not after your lucky charms.
What I've
I
got
don't know.
is,
A lucky
if you
charm
take
might be
this, this is my sister gave it me. It's a petrified frog's eyeball. It's good luck.
That sounds
She's
awesome.
holding out this string with an eyeball on it.
nice. I will take it.
Okay.
Disgusting.
You take it, the eye kind of looks around to look at you.
Oh, gross.
Oh, it actually
Yes.
looks at us.
Uno steps away. She's
It's
not
magic.
happy.
It's a good luck charm.
Okay.
It'll keep you safe. Keep an eye on you. The gods will be watching out.
Okay. I am going to put the string around my neck.
And you're cursed. You have a negative 12 to dexterity saving throws.
And, well,
And you'll
but yes, if you really want to go out there, you could. As I said, head out there. Though I still think we should go for the child plan.
I don't think that will help.
They've got a boy. The people at the shop, the fiddle fence. They've got a young lad. I think he'd do fine.
We're not
can
going to
always-
sacrifice a child.
Well, we could. I mean, we could try an adult, but I just don't think it'll have the same effect.
Let's hold off on the sacrificing of people first. Let us go check this out first, and then if it doesn't work, maybe a bigger sacrifice. But let's wait a little bit.
Right, well, if... Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I must say, it's very good what you're doing here, putting your life on the line for a town that you hardly know. For probably a very
Well-
small amount of money. Because
I didn't say anything about money.
oh, I heard at the shop that the governor had agreed to pay you. What was it again? I heard
57 gold and
What time is it?
47 gold and 3 silver. I heard.
What time is it? What time is it?
It's
game time.
Still morning.
It's adventure time.
News travels really fast in this town.
Yeah, apparently.
It has small
Has it been enough
distances to
time
travel.
for Adair to get back yet?
And as you swim off, you've found Amalia sat bored on the boat.
Okay.
And then, it seems to be talking to the cat as far as you can tell. The cat seems to be paying no attention in response, just staring off and cleaning itself. And then I said, if you don't like my nets, well then you could just go with Trevor. Wait. Hello? Hello? Is someone that? If you make another move further, I will fireball you. I can. Hello? is there as you get nearer. Are you approaching it, or are you just lurking in crocodilian fashion?
I'm just lurking with just my eyes sticking out of the water and the tip of my snout, just listening to see what's happening and see if there's anything that looks troubling around the ship.
On your journey to the ship, you've not come across anything that looks out of place so far.
Okay.
I'd like you to make me a stealth check at this point, not from Amalia.
Oh my goodness.
Nat 20.
Using my really good crocagator skills, I have a 5.
So as you're lurking there, Sindri up on the boat just hisses at this crocodile, like hair on end. And you hear him like, "Wait, Sindri, what's that? I don't understand cats."
If I don't perceive any threats in the area, and I'll dive under and circle around the boat, whatever I can, to keep from getting shot by her trigger-happy sister.
It's a fireball.
But if everything seems okay, I don't see any threats or any angry water in the area.
You can't see any angry water in the area. As you dive under, you hear this from somewhere from you. Hear this woof. And when you emerge again, you can see that a good portion of the swamp, the grass is singed and burnt.
All right.
And that is a warning.
All right, so I'm going to make my way back to them because I think she's perfectly safe.
As you make your way back towards the town, I'd like a perception check from you.
I muted 23.
Right, as you're approaching town, you catch sight of two figures sort of slinking through the swamp. They are sort of mostly under the water and slipping forward slowly through the reeds and the swamp. This pair of humanoid reptilians. Their skin is very similar to that of your crocodile form, but they seem to be sort of crouched, walking on two legs, and one of them has a spear strapped to their back, and the other is, you see small patches of crocodile skin armor. These two lizard folk slipping slowly through the swamp. And neither of them seem to have noticed you as yet.
I'm going to keep my distance and see where they head to.
All right, you trail them as they're heading off, sort of circling round the village. At a wide arc and heading eastwards. Meanwhile, as the rest of the gang leave Granny Twig's house, what's your next plan?
We're gonna, I don't know.
We're gonna head towards the well.
Yeah.
Are we going to go straight there, or are we gonna wait a little bit for a dare?
We'll move slowly and cautiously, and keep an eye out for a dare.
You wouldn't know that's where we're going.
Oh, that's true.
I'm gonna pull the lucky charm out and look at it and kind of.
It looks back at you.
God, please stop.
Is it diamond, clover, or moon shaped?
Oh, that's why you were laughing.
Is it marshmallowy? Just.
Yeah, pop it in your mouth. See what happens.
Oh.
Ugh.
I'm gonna take it off from around my
I'm
neck
missing all
and
Lucky
stick it in
Charm
a
related
pocket.
jokes then.
I made one earlier.
We don't have those here.
Did in the Irish accent and everything.
You're always after me, Lucky Charms.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
wasn't meant to be Irish. It...
Me either, but I was born that way.
It's just kind of
I got
drifted.
stuck on my head. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Right. So yeah, so you put this eye in your pocket, but yeah, you hadn't really made any plans for how you were going to meet back up with Adair. I don't think so. Adair, are you trying to return to the village to look for them there, or are you following these lizard folk?
So they skirted around the village and then kept
They're
heading
heading
off.
eastwards. Yeah.
And they said Granny Twigs was north?
North.
North?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Let's
follow.
go around the north end of the village.
I'm going to follow them a little bit longer.
Okay. So the rest of you, are you waiting for Adair to return, or are you heading out?
I think we'll wait around a little bit because he knew we were going to Granny's house, right? So, so we'll just hang out a little longer, wait for him.
Okay. So Adair, I'd like you to make me a stealth roll now at this point. Again, did I ask for that before? No, I don't think I did. As you're following these two lizards.
Okay, I'm not attempting to be extra stealthy anyway.
Okay.
Because I'm a crocodile and they seem to be okay with crocodiles. But that was a 10.
Okay. So you're just going to look round, sort of look to each other. And they carry on. They don't seem bothered that they're being followed by a crocodile, but they are aware of your presence. And they make their way through the swamps, skirting behind trees, heading. I mean, after sort of a mile or so, they're still not stopping. And as you follow the trail, they lead you eventually after sort of 4 or 5 miles later. You can see this small settlement ahead of you, built on an island in the swamp. It appears to be a small lizard folk sort of village or like encampment with these shelters built up on this small island of ground in the swamp.
Okay. Do I see any other lizard people moving around? Or?
Yeah, you can see about sort of in total there's about at least half a dozen lizard folk.
Do I see any other crocodiles?
One of them seems. Yes, there is one crocodile hanging out around the front of this village, and as you get near it, looks round at you, and you can see that this one has it appears to have been injured recently. This giant crocodile. You can see there's sort of someone has attached sort of rough bandages around part of its arm, and yeah, it's this.
Does it look like it's been hit by lightning by chance?
It does look a bit singed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's singe marks on this large crocodile. There's a small lizard folk child sort of there.
Okay.
Like.
Are there any fish in the area?
There's fish in the water, yes.
I think I'm a little hungry. I'm going to eat a couple of fish.
So the rest of you have been waiting. I know you said you set off, right? I can't remember.
We're still waiting. I think we're still waiting.
Yeah, you're waiting. An hour's passed. No sign of a dare. Like.
Should we just go?
It might make sense to just.
Go.
I'm sure he's fine.
Okay. I mean, the other option is to go wait for him at the village.
We could do that, I guess.
Oh,
So
I will make my way back.
No, I don't know. It's all day later, like just like.
Well, the thing that gets me is I went to check on Amalia in the ship, and you all are like, "Should we wait here, or maybe go sit in the village? Maybe we could go on." Nobody once thinks maybe something happened at the ship.
I know
Trust
Molly
you.
is fine. She can
We're
take care of herself.
You're a crocodile. What are we gonna do?
Anyway,
Yeah, you trust in the crocodile. Anyways, sometime later, early afternoon, you're sitting around in the village. Eventually, the crocodile Adair returns. How long does the world shape last for?
you check and make sure. 3 hours.
Do we notice him coming up on us?
Are you trying to be sneaky, Adair, or are you trying to?
Not at all. Not at all.
In which case, you notice, definitely new to a world, would see a rather an enormous. Oh, did you turn into a normal sized crocodile? Or a giant?
It's not a
crocodile?
giant. It's a normal size.
Okay, you see, well, as far as you're concerned, a small crocodile, because you've your first experience with giant ones. So you see a miniature crocodile approaching.
Crikey, what we got here is a wild Adair.
In its natural habitat.
Ain't she a beaut?
No.
As I get close, I will shift back into whatever. And if I see that, I'm just like, my feelings are hurt at this point. I'm just
A two-legged.
Just watch it in its natural habitat.
as I approach, I'll say, "Well, now I know where the lizards live."
You have a shriek before you turn back into you, and from one of the locals, "Crocodile! Get your spears!" And then someone shrieks louder, "Crocodile man!"
Well, now you're a local legend.
I'm the Crocodile King. Is there a gnome named Carol Baskins in this town?
Oh no!
I hope not. She...
X card. Anyway, I would tell them that I now know where the lizard people's settlement is, and Amalia seems to be quite okay.
Well, that's good. It's good to have you back. We found out there's this thing called the Devil's Well. All the nice names around here, for sure.
Yeah.
Sound like great places.
It's Bonebrook. It's lovely.
Granny Twigs gave us this, and I pull out the eyeball.
It stares at you.
Yep, the eyeball stares at you.
Charming.
I put it back in my pocket, but I'm
Charming.
Going to...
All right, whatever.
I get it. So it's supposed to be a lucky charm.
Okay.
My camera is having issues focusing.
Aren't we
happens.
all?
at this point, everybody, this whole game's been without focus.
As long as you're having fun.
Absolutely, always.
Yeah.
I don't care how far you go off focus, as long as you have fun.
In that case,
No.
Mhm.
Within reason.
Well,
It's
we
like,
should
oh,
be getting
wait.
to this Devil's Well and check it out, and then if nothing's there, we can check on the lizard folk.
they seem to be quietly in their village about 5 miles that way, and I'll point whatever direction that would be, east of here.
Yeah.
Did you see
east.
anything suspicious at all?
Nothing suspicious, no.
Well, the Devil's Well sounds pretty suspicious, though. Maybe we should check that out.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I do have to ask DM, what is this here? Because I keep looking at it and thinking it looks like some kind of evil well of doom, and I'm assuming maybe it's a cut-off tree or something, but
You mean the tree stump? It's
Okay,
a tree
okay.
stump.
Okay.
just checking. Didn't want to miss the obvious there.
That looks ominous.
Well,
Speaking of the devil's well,
You're standing around next to this like void of darkness with tendrils from it. Just going, so
What about
the
that?
problem around
That
here
might,
could be?
that might be doing it.
Like, I don't know. Maybe, no, it couldn't
And
be anything
this
to do with
is
this
where
void of
we
darkness.
turn into a Call of Cthulhu game.
Everyone roll sanity.
Yeah, oh no. Dun, dun, dun.
That's a
Alright,
D10,
so-
right?
I have 10 of them.
Yeah, as you set off eastwards into this swamp, and just let's see how long we're gonna take to get here. Whoever's taking the lead, I want a survival check from you.
gee, I think I'll try that this time, if that's okay with
Everybody
everybody.
listen here.
I have been east of the town as a crocodile. So.
Yeah,
The only
you've
problem
been-
is there's dice suck.
I'm going to agree that they do, but fortunately I have a good modifier. That is a 14, but the dice is still going to hell.
Okay.
So,
I don't know how many dice you've got left at this point. It's probably not many.
oh, I have a stack of them, trust me.
Alright, so you're making pretty good time through the swamps as you follow the admittedly vague instructions given by Granny Twig to go east. But you find yourself on what does appear to be a sort of makeshift path. Like people have clearly walked this way, and here and there you can see they've laid sort of moved logs and things to try and sort of bridge any deeper areas of water and to make this easier passage. And as the path winds eastward, you come to an area of where the ground's slightly more solid, but it's cut through by these deep channels of water. And you can see this large twisted looking tree, and
Dad?
not oh no, here we go.
Daddy?
I'm
Is
not
that
going
you?
to get some milk.
30 years ago.
You said you were just going out to get some Lucky Charms.
Oh no. What did I do? What did I do to deserve any of this?
It was that cute little spruce from down the street, wasn't it?
It was the Sap Man, wasn't it?
And at the foot of it, you can see this raised circle of rough-hewn stones. This raised circle of rough-hewn stones at the foot of this large tree. As you are sort of approaching from this direction, and as you're approaching, you can hear rustling and movement
Coming from the well?
No, coming from the bushes nearby.
Oh, okay.
And you can see, standing in the bushes and waving panically towards you is a lizard folk. It's in the water. No, you, and they come running out of the bushes towards you, waving their arms wildly. They've got a spear in one hand, and
I'm gonna put up my hands like Torvald.
Stay away from this place. Don't make it any worse.
What language is this
Like
in?
what?
Let's see. Just check what languages they speak. I really would like the answer to be common. I think common is probably your go-to choice here. Like,
I don't know.
you're
If
not
that's,
lizards.
no. That is,
Does anyone speak Draconic?
Oh, go back. and shifts-
Daddy?
I can speak.
It says a few sort of,
What the hell?
Sapman?
and then shifts into a longer phrase in Draconic, which I don't think do any of you speak Draconic?
Aldous does.
That one does.
She's just pointing to herself.
Speaks
instead of saying
Draconic.
so.
So Aldous, you understand and go, oh shit, just look, please, go back. No putting dead bodies down the well. Please stop putting dead bodies down the well.
In Draconic, I'm going to say, we're not here to put bodies in a well. We're here to find out what's wrong with the swamp.
Torvald's gonna like look over and be like, as she's like, whatever it sounds like.
You now have to do that for the rest of the game.
You think I won't?
I wonder if she speaks whale too.
Look, have you people met me? Like, you know there is no level I would stoop to when it comes to making stupid noises.
I love your voices.
Oh, dude,
They're awesome, yeah.
Great.
they are.
Like, so as this lizard folk goes, tell them, like, look, they put the bodies down the well, and the well is angry. I've been trying to tell people this, but no one is listening.
So, why is the well angry? Well, okay, you said the well is angry because dead bodies in it. I'm gonna turn
Yes.
around to the. I've stepped forward more, and I'm gonna turn around to them and say, so the dead bodies of the various animals in the well has pissed off the well. And then I'm gonna turn back to the lizard folk, and I'm gonna ask them, what happens when the well is angry?
Angry well water comes to kill people.
How do we make the well not angry?
Don't know.
Water softener. Yes. That's why you need a water softener for well water. It doesn't kill you.
That's it, man. You nailed it.
Finally understand.
Mm-hmm.
Finally get it.
Water softener. Sweet.
I'm gonna turn
And
around.
you see the Elizabeth looks back nervously over their shoulder towards like the nearest stream and sort of looking at the surface, kind of like nervously. It's not safe around here. It's not safe. There is a lot of very angry water.
He's still speaking in Draconic, right?
Yes. I
Okay.
don't know much common.
Okay.
I honestly, and not many people around here speak any Draconic.
I understand that. One moment. I am going to turn to my group, and I'm going to say, the dead bodies being placed in the well has caused the angry water. And Granny Twigs is the one who's been putting the bodies in the well. She's probably the one pissing off the water. It's not safe here, according to... I'm going to turn back to it. What's your name?
Oh, me?
Yes. In Draconic, I'm asking, what's your name?
Dave.
Vaith.
Vaith? I am going to turn back, and I'm going to try to come up with a name. Viper.
Oh, fine.
Because, you know, the translation. He says that there's a lot of angry water here right now, and it's not safe here.
How do we fix the problem? Do they know?
he doesn't know.
Everyone's so helpful around here.
At least we know exactly why the water is angry.
Well,
We
I'm
could
gonna
fish
turn-
the dead bodies out.
Right. Right. And I'm going to turn to Vith, and I'm going to say, is there a way to purify the well?
If all I know is it started when one of the soft-skinned people came out here and chucked someone down a well.
Chuck someone?
Then they chucked a person down a well.
A person.
Yeah, someone came and chucked an old woman down a well. Or a young woman. I don't know. I'm
woman.
not very good at judging.
Went down the
Yeah.
well.
Got chucked down the well. Then the water rose up angrily. General water anger. And then they kept coming back here and chucking more things down the well, which made the water angrier. Which made them chuck more things down the well, which made the water even angrier.
I am going to turn back, and I'm going to say, the first thing that got chucked down this well in sacrifice was a woman.
Adira's going to look at her and go, well, well, well.
Hell hath no fury.
Like a woman drowned.
It's a well-known phrase.
That was a good team effort. High five.
All right. So we need to find a way to purify or cleanse the well, and we need to. I'm going to turn back to Vith, and do you have any
Any
anyone, no, any wise people in your village who might know?
No, we've sent a messenger south to fetch a druid, but it's a long way.
And what are you expecting this? Oh, I can't answer because you haven't. I'm sorry. I can't hear anything.
We could assume that Eldest is translating the bulk of it. Or...
Yeah, I'm turning every time I turn around, I'm translating something. So yeah, they asked for a druid's help.
What are they expecting this druid to do?
Oh, thank you. If you are tuning it up, this is what Isfjell normally is.
Now, what would be great is if I didn't speak the same
noises.
if I didn't speak the same language as you, so we had to go through like 3 or 4 people. This would be really a great Monty Python routine.
As a side note, how do I get holy water? Like, can I just bless water and make it holy water?
I don't know. Come back to me on that. I mean, yeah.
Too bad nobody knows purify food or water spells.
Torvald, whilst this is going on, out of the corner of your eye, you catch movement in the water, or rather, movement of the water. As you can see, that the channels of water, this channel of water in front of you, you can see that the water stops sort of. It's not sort of just stagnant and lying there now. It's sort of flowing towards you. You can see this ripple movement as the water starting to flow and gather up.
Is it concentrated in like within like a 5-foot or a 10-foot circle yet?
It started to concentrate within an area, yes, as it starts to draw up. This is no one else seems to have noticed it yet. You're just slightly more perceptive than others.
Okay. I'm going to ready a spell. I'm going to ready Magic Circle and be ready to cast it as soon as it's relatively formed. if I can.
Okay, make a note of that, because that may not come into play yet. But write it that. Make a note that you've done that.
Okay.
You may have to remember it till next week.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So as this water starts to draw up, sort of, as your group is talking, and as Vyth is explaining, you know, I don't know. Just we thought that druids might help, so we sent word south to the circle of the swamp, and they've not got back to us yet. But and then you see Vyth's eyes go wide, and he turns as you hear the movement behind him, and now you can see at 2 points along this stream as the water rears upwards, and as the water starts to rear upwards, I don't know, would this be then you cast your spell, Torvald, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of us, me, who don't know what Magic Circle is, please explain what Magic Circle does.
Sure. So Magic Circle is a 10-foot by 10-foot cylinder that makes it 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall, centered on a point of the ground I can see, and glowing runes appear, and one or more of the following creature types, which I guess just all of them, celestial, elemental, fae, fiends, or undead. The circle affects a creature in the following ways. The creature can't willingly enter by non-magical means. It can use teleportation, but it has to do a charisma saving throw. It has disadvantage on attack rolls on targets within the cylinder, and targets within the cylinder can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by the creature. Also, when you cast a spell, you can elect to cause its magic to operate in the reverse, so I can surround it, preventing the creature from leaving the cylinder and protecting targets outside of it. So essentially,
which did you say you were doing?
I'm going to put the cylinder around it to keep it in. So I'm essentially like containing it in this cylinder, and basically it can't move out unless it can do so magically, and then it still has to do a saving throw to do so.
And how big was it again? It was
10-foot radius.
Okay.
Yeah, and 20-foot tall, which probably isn't relevant. But
all right. So as this circle of glowing runes is cast on the ground, and as these watery beings rise up, I think, as it's getting late, that we will pick up with the very serious, high stakes, and not at all joke swamp adventures. Which will be the next title.
You said swamp adventures. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll pick up next week with the adventures in the swamp. As can our heroes complete the first item of Fenelon's possibly inexhaustible list of random tasks that they'll be troubled with for the rest of their lives? Will Adair and Torvald actually explain to the others how much they've agreed to give the rest of their lives work?
He did it. We didn't agree to this.
Work to a random druidess who they now owe their lives to, and most importantly, will they get Eira back safe and sound? And also, will they resolve the issue of angry swamp water? So, find out next week. And thank you for everyone who watched. I hope you had as much fun as we had playing.
Puns and all.
Yes.
Puns and silliness.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much.